Mandatory minicamp begins tomorrow for the Buffalo Bills as they hit the next phase of the offseason. Do stay tuned. Sal Capaccio is going to join the show at 4 for what we should expect this week. And then speaking of mandatory minicamps, both quarterback Jacoby Brissett and edge rusher Josh Sweat have reported to Arizona's mandatory minicamps that also begin this week. Going over to college football, Texas Tech quarterback Brennan Sorsby has been granted a temporary injunction by a Texas judge in Lubbock County that will allow him to be eligible to play in 2026 for Texas Tech. This all comes after the NCAA ruled Sorsby ineligible after they discovered him wagering on college and pro football, including on Indiana, the team he played for in 2022 as a freshman. But don't worry, there is some punishments for committing the cardinal sin in sports. Sorsby is going to be suspended the first 2 games of this upcoming season. No hockey game tonight. Game 4 is tomorrow night in Vegas, but we do have some news. The Kings are hiring Peter Laviolette as their next head coach, and Helene St. James of the Detroit Free Press is reporting from earlier this morning that center Dylan Larkin has a 3-team list on where he'd like to be traded: Las Vegas, Florida, and Minnesota. We do have Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight, tip-off at 8:30. The series does head to New York, and the Knicks are already holding a 2-0 series lead over the Spurs. And in baseball, Yankees are at the Guardians, first pitch at 6:40. Well, the Jays, they host Philadelphia at 7:07. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for West New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I look like a delivery guy. I got this purple hat in the mail yesterday.
You're matchy.
And I got a purple shirt I'm seeing on the video now, and I look like I work somewhere. The purple shirt, I look like I should be driving a truck.
It's Mike Schopp.
Like Grimace.
Right.
Oh, Grimace doesn't wear a purple hat.
No, but
in fairness to Grimace,
but there's a lot of purple.
And the Bulldog.
I mean, I don't think I'm shaped entirely that similar to Grimace.
That's right. That's fair.
It's closer than I'd like, and the clothes could get you there.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I'm not body shaming Grimace. I'm just saying, they're a big thing.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
I can't decide where I want to start. It's definitely not with that. I can't decide if I want to start with Dylan Larkin.
I'm over here going, I said that? That was just Friday. I said that. Okay. All right.
Or your Bills vibes. Dylan Larkin is probably not relevant to us.
No, I was going to ask. I've had his salary page, like a Google search I did for his salary page. So it's not like a spot track or over the cap or anything. But I've had that open on my browser in here, and his career stats, like year by year.
Yeah.
Open since that, like during the show, whenever that was last week, one day when that happened. Like, okay. And as I logged in this afternoon, everything pops up. I'm like, I was going to ask you, like, I probably can close these Dylan Larkin pages.
Do I need this tab open?
I don't think I need. I mean, he's excellent. He scores like somewhere between 65 and 75 points every year and 30 goals, right as rain. There's really not been a drop-off yet, but he's going to be 30. Anyway, I think I got it. He's excellent. He's unhappy, and he wants to be traded to, teams that only win the cup. Basically.
And Minnesota,
yes.
How many tabs do you have open?
Let's see.
I have 19.
I definitely don't have 19. I've got 2 screens, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on the one, counting 2 Dylan Larkin pages.
2?
Yeah.
Money and stats.
The money and stats. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is all I got.
Tab elimination draft.
5, including Twitter and the YouTube feed on the alternate.
I have one YouTube tab open. It's from the 2009 World Series of Poker.
Okay.
Should I close that?
Sure it is. Is
the Wi-Fi safe here at home?
You do what you need to do. I mean, I don't think you're going to need it for the show.
No, let's hope. I'm to the first year since I began watching poker where I don't know who won. So I don't want to. I've chosen not to close that tab.
I see.
Because I want to make sure I can find it. Because I'm 54, so I want to make sure I can find it, and therefore just leave it open. Couple of crossword tabs, bunch of fantasy, baseball, that diamond version of the 82-0 game, the baseball
I would
one.
imagine you got
I can close that.
A bunch of that going. Yeah.
I can close that.
Yeah.
I mean, 2010's home runs. I've got the World Cup, a great World Cup schedule grid.
I'm in a pool.
You're in a pool.
I entered a pool. Yeah.
I want to be in it.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I mean, I will hang out places that have pools, and then maybe they feel like they trust you, and they ask you, like, hey, would you like to be in our pool?
I don't mean, what do you do to get into a pool? I mean, what is the pool? What do you do? Is it players? Is it teams?
It's teams. Everyone who entered this pool got two countries. That's
at random?
At random, yeah. It was just.
So it's 24 people?
I guess.
Times two.
Yeah.
Who'd you get?
Bosnia Herzegovina.
They play Canada the first day, or the first match on Friday.
And
in Toronto.
South Korea.
They play Canada that same night. Canada doubles. I don't know who South Korea plays, but I've got it. If you know cities, I've got it right here.
What's funny is I got, I agreed. I didn't have any cash on me, so whatever. This is where the trust me part comes
there
in.
It is.
But Saturday afternoon, I was asked, yeah, I'll do it, sure. And by Saturday evening, here's the breakdown. Here's who you got. And I wanted, I think when it was brought up, it was like who do you want? I'm like, I don't know, Senegal? Or did I mention Senegal when we were talking about Owen when he was little with the map? Whatever it was, I just feel like I mentioned Senegal. Senegal was on my mind. I would love to have Senegal in this thing.
All right.
I don't, and I read that, it's only a tweet. I didn't go into the story, but, France is the favorite.
Yes.
But here's a couple of other, sides that could make noise, and Senegal was one of those. I'm like, oh, man, I wish I had Senegal. My friend Steve got him. Son of a... Maybe I could trade him.
Are there trades?
I don't know. I don't know if there's... I don't know.
Korea is in Group A, and they do play the first night against Czechia. Also in Group A, Mexico, home country, and South Africa. That doesn't sound like an easy group.
No.
I don't know what group of death is, but that sounds pretty tough.
Yeah.
Canada, Bosnia, Herzegovina. There's your other horse in the derby here. Who was it? Qatar and Switzerland. Much better. Oh,
that's a cakewalk.
What an opportunity you have there in Group B. I want to be in a pool. I got nothing. I got a tab open with the schedule.
Yeah.
That's the extent of it. I've got a phone where I can bet games, I suppose. What a start to the weekend. Friday night. Oh, you know this. So does Sam. I went to my sister's house for a party. She had her daughter in who lives in D.C., and there were 20 or 30 people there. And I'm like, everybody sit down. I've got an idea. I just got off work, and we figured this out. At work. We can bet NFL division winner parlays to death and, not make a lot of money. But we're also not going to spend a lot of money because we're going to pool our thoughts.
Right.
So what I did was I sat down. I've got, people came in and out, but mostly I had about, 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to do 10 of these at $10 each and just throw out ideas. You had the chalk people. You had the Bills and the Ravens and the Eagles people. Mm-hmm. And my brother-in-law was like a Rams person. He was got to have the Rams.
Yeah.
Come on. It's not as good as you think of a bet. I mean, the Rams are even money in a division with Seattle and San Francisco. So, maybe. So we dabbled. We had a couple Rams. And then, a couple of drinks were poured, and you go along, and then my niece was like, Tennessee! Okay, let's have that. Let's try that. And then Vegas got a nomination. And Miami, there was a Jets versus Dolphins argument.
Wow.
There was a Jets-Dolphins argument at this party because the one person, and one of these people from, he works here.
Okay.
One person.
I wonder who this could be.
Yes, I know. It's Sue O'Neill. No, one person was like Jets. Like, now let's have some real fun. And Joey was like, Miami. Miami has a better chance to win the AFC East than the Jets. Like, I don't know why you think that. But
yeah, I think they're pretty equal. I
right.
might even lean Jets.
Better
actually,
price
myself.
So we have a Miami parlay.
Wow, you went
Oh.
in. Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I sent you and Sam the picture. There's a legal document, notary public notarized. There's a legal, not yet, but my wife has that authority, and maybe she'll sign it or something. But we have a legal document. I could whip it out here. I got it.
Careful. Yeah. Okay.
10 parlays, 8 teams each. And the dollars, and then you came around. You finally went to
this is
the other app.
This is Friday night. This all happened on the show live at this time Friday. You had what I thought was a fine idea that we've done at least last year, if not the year before. Like, let's do these on the air. Let's pick division winners in the NFL and see what we end up with. And you were on DraftKings, and I was on my FanDuel app, and the same bet we discovered. There was like literally a $75,000 disparity in the payout with the odds. DraftKings was $79,000, and I could only get to like $4,000 or something.
Oh yeah,
on my app. Like, this
percentage-wise, it was a huge difference.
This is absurd. Like, I don't even know. So what did I say Friday night? I get all that. Like, yeah, I haven't been that active since, FanDuel used to pay me, and I used like half of that money to just sort of fool around with. And, it was fun. But since that relationship ended, I've, picked my spots, but I'm not anywhere near as active. Like, I don't know. I've never had a second or a third or a fifth app. Like, I sort of like only having the one.
How dare you?
But then, Saturday morning, I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, it's offensive how much advantage they think or are taking of people that are like me. Like, well, I like this app. I'm familiar with this app. They've got all my information. That it's in my phone, facial recognition. Like, I'm in the app. Okay, I don't want to do all that again.
Facial recognition.
I don't want to do it. And I thought, you know what? I should. So I not only got another app, I moved the FanDuel app from the first screen on my phone and my iPad to the last, and replaced it with DraftKings, and like I'm in over there now.
The ultimate insult.
They've been they're not on the speed dial anymore.
What the indignation?
It's like
you've removed FanDuel from your first screen.
Yep.
And replaced it.
This is Jerry with the girlfriend and the mom and the phone and the auto dial. Remember there was an episode where there's a big stink because the Jerry doesn't want to be bounced off of the auto dial or the whatever. Anyway,
this is Jerry Seinfeld.
The television show was big in the 90s.
Yes.
Anyway, whatever. Maybe it's not the most famous episode ever. Anyhow, but I basically did that. I've replaced because what do you?
I love that.
I mean, whatever.
It feels so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's just so predatory what they're doing. Unless DraftKings are just high on cocaine or something, which I doubt they are. The odds are just so different.
Well, we didn't talk about it really, but we had Sam on Friday, Sam Peniotovich, and he really couldn't explain it either.
No.
He's like, it's just how it goes. He said, BetMGM won't even take these bets.
Right.
And then FanDuel pays out 40 to 1. And on the same bet, DraftKings pays out 800 to 1. And maybe there's some other Caesars or something out there that pays out millions to 1.
Even more. I don't know. Right.
I don't know. But what happened on Friday night, we're going through, and it started to get a little bit loose. And somebody mentioned the Giants and one other real long shot. And this was actually, you'll appreciate this. This was, for me, actually a very proud moment because I tried to make the bet, and it said that I couldn't make it. I'm like, oh, they're shutting me down. They're on to us, everybody. Right. They're on to us, Kim. They're following the situation here at your house.
Right.
And we're no longer allowed to make $10 18 parlay bets. I think the actual thing was a couple of these combinations put a $10 bet payout over $1 million. And when it became $1 million,
They got flagged.
they said I could only bet $2 instead of $10. I was not allowed to win $1 million.
I gotcha. Right.
So like, we're not doing that on principle. We're just going to delete that.
Right.
But yes,
Yeah.
what a great time. I mean, who has more fun than people? Now
So-
we have World Cup. I love the thing about this is like the tabs. I love the thing about the app. When the Sabres lost Game 7, I deleted the NHL app. And a few times since
I'm done with you.
I'm not
least
talking
until
about
October
off the screen. I'm
or
talking
next
about
April.
delete.
Yeah, right.
And a couple of times I have wondered to myself, is there a game tonight? But like, nope, I'm not looking. Somebody will tell me. I don't have the app anymore. I'm not going to do a search here. I don't want to be connected to finding out.
There is a
when
game
Vegas
tonight,
plays
but
Carolina.
But it's a basketball game. The hockey isn't until tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is that. Yeah. So I don't know. I would say reluctantly. I mean, I was reluctant, but once I got really upset about it. Like I used to do commercials for these people. Like this is not okay. So I did what I felt I needed to do. So of course I then made an 8-leg NFL division winner parlay that a $10 bet will pay $472,000 if I win.
It won't.
No, it definitely won't win.
You have New England.
I have New England in that. I have Pittsburgh, and I think maybe. Oh, sorry, am I
Also,
rushing?
you have New England.
Sure, yeah, whatever, yeah. Well, I'm gonna do.
If you get close
Yeah.
to a close to $500,000 win,
Oh, and it's hinging.
and New England, you've been complaining that you don't like the scheduling of the Bills-Patriots games.
Right. I want the second
There
meeting
is-
to be later in the year.
There is no way you're rooting for the Bills that day. If it's like last year, think of last year. Let's say it doesn't have to be $500,000. Let's say it's $50,000.
Mhm.
There's a starting number. That game in Foxborough last year, where the Patriots, they eventually do win the AFC East, but the Patriots could have like wrapped it, right? That
Right?
day.
Yeah, that's right. They could have clinched. It was a T-shirt and hat game.
Right. They go up 21-0, I think. Whatever. What are your feelings? Like, wild card's fine. We're not going to win this anyway. It's okay. There's always next year. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
gambling is always, it's so prevalent, and we're not immune, obviously, from the topic and our own personal stuff. You've got this college player today who was banished for gambling, and now it's like, oh, don't worry about it. You're back.
At least for now. I don't know. There probably is another. There's everything I'm reading today is like there'll be an NCAA appeal. This is just one judge in Lubbock, and get it from another judge, and the whole thing could go on for the whole summer. It feels like.
Well, Art Schlichter went to jail. That's who the quarterback. He was my quarterback at Ohio State, and there was a gamble. I don't even know if it was. The legality stuff makes it such a gray area now. I mean, back then, you're using
This
you're
was
calling between states.
This was
and-
bookmakers and yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
just not at all out in the open, but that doesn't really mean it was anything different fundamentally. Anyway, the point isn't to litigate that. It's just that,
He went to jail, and this guy's got to sit out 2 games.
this guy is back and gambling. To some today, this is a seminal moment where this basically means that it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Betting on your own team. I mean, is there any stopping this boulder rolling down the mountain when it comes to sports gambling? And I don't know that answer. I can't pretend that I'm not in on it, in my own way. It's just
Right.
basically what we talk about and making 2 or 3 bets a week. But I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to get really into it, then you have the fantasy stuff, which was determined not to be gambling, but I don't know. What is it
It
then?
is. Yeah, it's just it's longer form, less immediate reward gambling. Really, it's
It's a skill game, Joe.
But although these things that we were talking about on Friday and again just now, those don't pay until next February next January. Division winners. So
Yeah, I can't wait for that
it is
day.
a little it's not unlike fantasy. I mean, we didn't draft, but whatever. It's
I can't wait for that day.
right.
I told everybody at the party, and we did 10 of them, right? 10, 18 parlays. Like, look, here's the bad news. Only one of these could win. There's no way we're hitting on 2 of them because they're all different.
Right.
So the best we're going to do here is this, one of these.
Right.
And then when it would come out, $10 for like 30,000, it was so disappointing.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Just,
right.
30,000.
I did this one I sent you that's, 472, and I had some fun and took a couple longer shots. I did another one, and I have the Bills in the second one, and nothing crazy. And it's like, it's like 30. It's whatever. It's the number
cheap.
It's just like
El Cheapo.
Doesn't even feel like the same exercise here. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
They're offering me $9 on a buyout though, on a $10 bet. I mean, it's tempting.
Yeah, I had a moment too where it froze all the cash out options. Like, again, they're on to us.
Right. They're shutting us down.
That did not end up sticking, but it was really fun. So we'll talk about this Dylan Larkin business. I don't know if it's that interesting if the Sabres, if we're supposed to conclude here today that there's really no look at him. Yeah, I loved McIndoe on Larkin.
I retweeted
so
that.
good.
I thought that was really smart.
You're giving us 3 teams. See you at practice.
Right. The two of whom just keep winning cups. The other one just made the biggest trade in the league this year and does not have assets that can pull off another big trade of that magnitude. And so, yeah, that's like you're probably gonna have to broaden your list a little bit there, Dylan. I'm guessing.
Well, I like just sort of professionally the idea to keep the Sabres topics alive here because they should be kept alive. I mean, it's the draft in a couple of weeks and then free agency. And, of course, any year that's relevant for them. And we talked to Paul the other day, and he's at the Combine, talking about the draft. He's like, yeah, this is weird because I don't think anybody I'm talking to is being drafted by the Sabres for once.
Right.
Like, these are all top 10 picks.
Yeah.
And which one do I think the Sabres should want and who's available? But now they're drafting, 27th?
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, all I'm saying is it's always something to talk about.
Yeah,
but they've got a good team, and that makes these decisions different, if not bigger.
And we're into another week, which means we're another week closer to July 1st in free agency, and even before that, the trades that may, that'll be talked about a lot, whether how many of them happen or not, including the Dylan Larkin trade. We'll see if that is something that gets consummated, quickly, around the NHL draft, which again is like the week or so before the free agency thing hits. But there was a little, I'm reluctant to call it news, but there was one, Darren Drager over the weekend. I don't know what day. I just know I saw a screen grab of a quote from him about Tuck that was, within the last couple of days. And it's just, it's more of the same. Like the gap isn't being bridged, and it's looking more and more like he's going to go to the market, which, is not at all shocking to read or hear. In fact, it's pretty predictable, and I don't know, like you can react however you want to every one of these. Oh, he's definitely leaving. But I heard the morning guys today talking about it, and we've talked like this plenty of times. Like you'll ask, who wants you to know this? Like who's talking right now, right? And to me, it behooves Tuck to get word, and his camp, to get word out there, just if there's any chance that pressure from the fans can, lead the Sabres to do something that will satisfy him, they're going to try to make it seem like he's leaving, I think, every time you hear from them until he either signs a new 8-year contract with the Sabres on June 30th or goes to Seattle or Vancouver or wherever he's going to go. Because that's just how the game is played. Like, they're not close, they're not close, they're not close, they're not close. He settled. Like, that could still happen to me. I'm not predicting it. I don't know how, likelihood-wise, but it is still a space on the board that we've seen, we've seen it happen. It doesn't seem like this is going to get settled, and then it does. So maybe that'll still happen, but, the news was kind of gloomy on that front.
Well, I'm gullible. And the 2 times I've heard Jarmo Kekalainen speak on it, to me, were for a manager's press conference. Pretty stark.
Yep.
That, guys, I mean, he doesn't want to say no chance. He wants to say how important he thinks Tuck has been to this and how good he is. But that's kind of as far as it went. And after that, it's like, we got to do the right thing for us. And he's believable. I think he gives off a good way about him at these press conferences and interviews. I think he, not that he's always going to be fully to be trusted, but because he's, in public, he's like anybody else, in that job. But I don't get the sense that the Sabres are going to break on this. And I'm okay with it. 803-0550 for your calls. We will talk some more about Alex Tuck. Who's doing the tucking in this situation? Bulldog wants to know who is doing the talking. We'll talk to Sal today. The Bills practice this week. I know.
Mandatory.
They have to be there.
Everyone's got to be there,
Wow.
or they get fined.
Practice, everybody.
It's real practice.
And
Kinda.
different things. Knicks, Spurs tonight, and NHL, Stanley Cup Final, baseball, who knows what else. Thanks for listening. We'd love to have you call in if you've got a strong opinion to share on, the Sabres or something else we've brought up. Betting. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Lines are open. This is WGR.
For more comfort,
Now's the perfect time to make yourself comfortable with a new electric heating and cooling system from Belknap.
In Western New York, summer and winter bring extreme temperature conditions. Make yourself comfortable with Mitsubishi electric heat pumps, designed to keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter, no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. Call Belknap today to learn more.
I'm Gary Garfalo, president of Belknap. We work on your schedule. We don't charge more for weekends and evenings. That's why we say,
give Belknap a ring.
And I sent you and Sam the picture. There's a legal document, notary public notarized. There's a legal,
Right.
not yet, but my wife has that authority, and maybe she'll sign it or something. But we have a legal document. I could whip it out here. I got it.
Careful. Yeah. Okay.
10 parlays, 8 teams each, and the dollars. And then you came around. You finally
Well,
went
yeah,
to
this is
the other app.
This is Friday night. This all happened on the show live at this time Friday. You had what I thought was a fine idea that we've done at least last year, if not the year before. Like, let's do these on the air. Let's pick, division winners in the NFL and see what we end up with. And you were on DraftKings, and I was on my FanDuel app. And the same bet we discovered, there was like literally a $75,000 disparity in the payout with the odds. DraftKings was $79,000, and I could only get to like $4,000 or something.
Oh yeah,
on my app. Like, this
percentage-wise, it was a huge difference.
This is absurd. Like, I don't even know. So what did I say Friday night? I get all that. Like, yeah, I haven't been that active since FanDuel used to pay me, and I used like half of that money to just sort of fool around with, and it was fun. But since that relationship ended, I've picked my spots, but I'm not anywhere near as active. Like, I don't know. I've never had a second or a third or a fifth app. Like, I sort of like only having the one.
How dare you?
But then, Saturday morning, I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, it's offensive. how much advantage
That's
they
right.
think or are taking of people that are like me. They're like, well, I like this app. I'm familiar with this app. They've got all my information. That what it's in my phone, facial recognition. Like I'm in the okay. I don't want to do all that again.
Facial recognition.
I don't want to do it. And I thought, you know what? I should. So I not only got another app, I moved the FanDuel app from the first screen on my phone and my iPad to the last, and replaced it with DraftKings, and I'm in over there now.
The ultimate insult.
They've been they're not on the speed dial anymore.
What the indignation?
It's like
You've removed FanDuel from your first screen.
Yep.
And replaced it.
This is Jerry with the girlfriend and the mom and the phone and the auto dial. Remember there was an episode where there's a big stink because the Jerry doesn't want to be bounced off of the auto dial or the whatever. Anyway,
This is Jerry Seinfeld.
the television show was big in the 90s.
Yes.
Anyway, whatever. Maybe it's not the most famous episode ever. Anyhow, but I basically did that. I've replaced because what do you?
I love that.
Whatever.
It feels so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's just so predatory what they're doing. Unless DraftKings are just high on cocaine or something, which I doubt they are. The odds are just so different.
Well, we didn't talk about it really, but we had Sam on Friday, Sam Peniotovich, and he really couldn't explain it either.
No.
He's like, it's just how it goes. He said BetMGM won't even take these bets.
Right.
And then FanDuel pays out 40-1, and on the same bet, DraftKings pays out 800-1, and maybe there's some other Caesars or something out there that pays out millions to 1.
Even more. I don't know. Right.
I don't know. But what happened on Friday?
It sure sounds, fellas, like there isn't progress being made between Buffalo and Alex Tuck. And I'm hearing that Tuck is likely going to free agency. That's not breaking news. Is Toronto swimming in that pool? Maybe. We keep hearing that Chaika is willing to at least listen.
Okay. Darren Dreger, everybody. I'm not standing on top of a mountain saying, hail and farewell, Alex Tuck. Like, I'm not.
No, I wouldn't either.
I'm not.
That's why I said how I said it earlier. Like,
But you want him.
Yeah.
You would pay him what he wants, and I wouldn't.
I don't think you'll have to pay him what he wants. I think you should be able to get him to stay. I'm not paying him $11 million. I'm going to pay him what he'll get out of $11 million over 7 years if he signs here for 8. And if he doesn't want to do that, like you made a good point on Friday, because a lot of people, including me, will that 8th year, but it's another year of your professional life where you're not getting paid as much as you wanted to. So I don't know. It's just what's the objective? Is the big pot of money? Does he want $88 million? I think I can find a way to get you, or $77 million, 7 by 11. I can find a way to do that for less than $11 million a year because I have the 8th year. And if that doesn't work, then he's leaving. To me, like I'm not ready to just say, "What do you want? Here's $12 million because we love you." Like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I am not on the top of the mountain. I'm not even that proud, I guess I want to say, or I can do better. Like that insistent here. If they paid him anything of that sort, it's kind of a new day for the Sabres, and maybe it'll work out. I don't love the idea because I don't think it works out for that long, probably. Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty soon where we're likely to be just like, ugh, now here we go again. We've got another albatross contract. But it would be a new day. It would be like the Sabres are now what Terry Pegula bragged when he bought them would be the new normal. And he was wrong. Or I don't think he was necessarily dishonest, but he was not able to do that.
Yeah, it's not worked out like that at all.
Then they're under the cap, and people have to want you back. And he had a moment there where that could have happened, but they didn't get that far off the ground with it. So I wouldn't hate it, but I've said this the same way a few times. If I've got a GM now, we were all bored with Kevin Adams. We thought they failed in terms of credibility with him. Who's hiring him in the first place? And then he gets extended a couple of times. Like, this is a joke. Now you've got a guy who has that credibility that Adams didn't, we think. I think it's true of Kekalainen. I don't know that everybody dissed Kevin Adams. But anyway, you've got a guy now that has that sort of respect. If he's that good, I want to think 31 other teams go find an Alex Tuch. Like, actually, Adams had a Jack Eichel chip that was worth a lot, but he did it. Like, go find somebody that isn't there yet, but you're going to put him on the Sabres at $4 or $5 million a year for some period of time, and he's going to play with Thompson, or he's going to play with, these young guys, whoever it is, and they're going to bring out what he's capable of. And now I don't have the age problem that I have with Tuch. I'm paying this guy half the money in theory, something around that. I didn't have to trade one of these 20-year-olds that we all love. And okay, like, that's to me what I know that these kinds of things are easy to say, but to me, this is the kind of move that a top GM can find. It's not being a top GM to just pay through the nose for the top free agent. I mean, that's a donkey move. It doesn't have to be bad, but it's just like, look at me. What did I do? I had the money, and this is easy for me. The fans are going to like it. And the fact that he's going to get old, well, everybody gets old, and you're not going to blame me because we went for it. And I don't know. I don't think that that's like an A-grade kind of move. None of that is to say, like, what Tuch really is worth to the Sabres. It's just sort of beating around that. But I kind of think that at the risk of copping out on it, we're not going to really know that. We know what it was this year. We know what it wasn't in round 2. And, who knows when the cliff comes. So,
yeah, you never
I
can.
hope that made sense.
It did to me, but I'm in the room. No, I think we probably are, because I also, if he leaves for $11.5 million a year somewhere, there's going to be a fare thee well. I think the majority of me will be that. It's just like, that's just too much. I didn't want to do that. I didn't think you can do anything. You can find a way to make anything happen if you want it bad enough, but I don't think it would be smart to do that either myself. And mostly so I won't be, sort of like you're saying, if he stays, you're not going to be mad about it. I'm also not going to be mad, I think, if he leaves, if it's some outrageous number, because I want to see, like you're saying, what else can you do? What are you going to do to replace him? Like, my biggest objection in the whole thing, while the playoffs were kind of still going on, and even once they ended, was, just plug the kids in and it'll be fine. And I just don't think that's a Stanley Cup contender mentality at all. It could work. Anything could work. I mean, if one of those guys becomes the Rookie of the Year candidate, then you're probably in pretty good shape there. And, of course, you're doing it for much cheaper. But I think other moves are warranted. Like, I don't say that with any kind of cautionary intent, because I don't think for 1 second that the guy you're talking about here, Kekalainen, is going to put his feet up. Like, Alex Tuch leaves, like, well, that's all right, the kids are good. Light me another cigar. Like, I just do not see that. I think he was ready to make big moves. Parayko, Robert Thomas at the trade, Matthew Nyes at the trade deadline. I think he will go hard here in the next few weeks. If he knows Tuch is priced out of his market, I think he'll do something substantial to try to replace him.
And we think that he might think that based on his comments,
right,
and based on moves they made or were rumored to be interested in making around the deadline.
They are not going to be caught with their pants down at all about this situation whatsoever. So I don't think they're sitting around thinking, we've got it, whatever. We'll just wait till the end and whatever his lowest number, what's his last lowest number, and we'll just agree. Like, I highly doubt that they're doing that. I'm sure they have a number that they would settle at. And it's even been reported, $9.5 million, I think, has been the number all along from the Sabres side. And if Tuch can't get there, then all these other moves will happen. I think I think they could keep talking, still do something big. In fact, like I'm expecting a lot here. Like I don't think Kekalainen is going to just try to run it back and think, well, we will grow because we played in a Game 7 and we'll be better next time. I think he will get some better he's going to go out and try to get some better players, I think, and improve the team.
Gary is next. Hello, Gary.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I have a question for you. Maybe I'm just missing something here. Is there a reason why we are putting so much energy into signing him when he did absolutely nothing in 2 series with us? I mean, he was nowhere to be found.
You're exaggerating grievously, including the Boston series. He might have been their best forward in the Boston series. He scored 7 points.
He had 2 games. He had 2 games that was good, but the rest of that series and the other 2 series, he didn't show up.
They only played 2 series. One of them, he was one of their best players. The other one, he didn't have any points. Like, there's no disputing. Montreal, he disappeared.
I don't want to ignore it. I don't think I'm ignoring it. It's 7 games, and the season is 82. I don't think it needs to be held above that. It's part of the reason, Gary, that I'm not excited about this. Like, you don't know when guys are going to get to the end of their peak, And
I guess the reason why I'm bringing this up is that you reward people who come to you when it means the most, and that's where I don't see it happening. Yeah, he had that because a couple good games with the Boston series, but beyond that, I mean, I just didn't think he added very much to the group. I just don't think that was worth it.
Okay. Yeah,
I just don't think it's good process to base a decision of this magnitude on 7 games.
That's really the tricky thing is the balance between the long term versus the small sample, but then also the small sample means a lot more than most of your regular season does.
And I can't tell you it isn't the first step toward a deteriorating asset. I don't know that. I can't know that. I don't know. Like the Sabres and teams would have a better idea about that because we've talked about this a couple times. Like Tuck chose to say, no serious injuries, just some nuisances. Right? Was that the word he used? I think. And that could be absolutely right. That also could be a player about to go into the most important contract negotiation of his life, not wanting to tell the hockey world, my back was bothering me, or I had a hamstring, or I had whatever. Anything that could be perceived as a nagging old man thing, he might want to protect against that. The teams would know. The Sabres definitely know if he was at all compromised. I'm not saying that he was. I'm just saying they have all the information. So if they think it's the first step towards him hitting a wall, then of course they're not going to meet his number. In fact, I don't think they would even want to do anything for 8 years.
Well,
if they thought that.
my guess from all this is that the Sabres, as we've talked about here, at least indirectly, they have decided a long time ago that he probably was going to be too expensive for what they were willing to pay. And that's before there was any Montreal series. That's before there was any Boston series. It was maybe during the season when they thought, well, we know what he wants. They had conversations. We know what we're willing to do. And maybe if the Montreal series had gone completely the other way, all they needed was one more goal in the end. Like, if it had gone completely the other way and you're still playing, then it's harder to just be like, yeah, no. But I think they have sort of, my guess is they have planned for, we're not going to be able to do this. We're choosing not to do this. And maybe at least with the fans, at least with this fan, Gary, maybe the Montreal series will make that easier for them in the public eye. It's a fair question. Why are we not fixated on it? Because it's only 7 games. It's also the most important 7 games they had.
Right.
So
And why
I
are
hope
we
that's an
talking
answer.
so much about it? Because Alex Tuck is an assistant captain and from the region and has been the face of the we want guys who want to be here. And they just had 109 points. So with him on the team. And so there's why are we fixated on it? Well, because it's a conversation to have. I mean, I talk about many things in here more repetitively than in reality I care about them. It's the job. We're having a conversation in here about the Sabres. So we're going to talk about Alex Tuck. What's the next most important thing they have to figure out this summer? I don't even know what's next on the list.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know either. I don't know what I would pick second. If it's goalies, but I'm not sure they're inclined to move on goalies. All right, thanks again, Gary. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Sal Capaccio in less than 20 minutes. This is WGR. Night, we're going through, and it started to get a little bit loose, and somebody mentioned the Giants and one other real long shot, and this was actually you'll appreciate this. This was for me actually a very proud moment because I tried to make the bet, and it said that I couldn't make it. I'm like, oh, they're shutting me down. They're on to us, everybody. Right. They're on to us, Kim. They're following the situation here at your house.
Right.
And we're no longer allowed to make $10 18 parlay bets. I think the actual thing was a couple of these combinations put a $10 bet payout over $1 million. And when it became $1 million,
they got flagged.
They said I could only bet $2 instead of $10. Right. I was not allowed to win $1 million.
I gotcha. Right. So
we're not doing that on principle. We're just going to delete that.
Right.
But yes,
yeah,
what a great time. I mean, who has more fun than people? Now
So-
we have World Cup. I love the thing about this is like the tabs. I love the thing about the app. When the Sabres lost Game 7, I deleted the NHL app. And a few times since
I'm done with you.
I'm not
least
talking
until
about
October
off the screen. I'm
or
talking
next
about
April.
delete.
Yeah, right.
And a couple of times I have wondered to myself, is there a game tonight? But nope, I'm not looking. Somebody will tell me. I don't have the app anymore. I'm not going to do a search here. No. I don't want to be connected to finding out.
There is a
when
game
Vegas
tonight,
plays Carolina.
but it's a basketball game. The hockey isn't until tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is that. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I would say reluctantly. I mean, I was reluctant, but once I got really upset about it. I used to do commercials for these people. This is not okay. So I did what I felt I needed to do. So, of course, I then made an 8-leg NFL division winner parlay that a $10 bet will pay $472,000 if I win.
It won't.
No, it definitely won't win.
You have New England.
I have New England in that. I have Pittsburgh, and I think maybe – oh, sorry. Am I
also,
rushing?
you have New England.
Sure. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Well, I'm going to do –
If you get close – to a close to $500,000 win.
Oh, and it's hinging.
And New England, you've been complaining that you don't like the scheduling of the Bills-Patriots games.
Right. I want the second meeting to be later in the year.
There is no way you're rooting for the Bills that day. If it's like last year, think of last year. Let's say it doesn't have to be $500,000. Let's say it's $50,000. Mm-hmm. There's a starting number. That game in Foxborough last year, where the Patriots, they eventually do win the AFC East, but the Patriots could have wrapped it, right? That day?
Yeah, that's right. They could have clinched. It was a T-shirt and hat game.
Right. They go up 21-0, I think. Whatever. What are your feelings? Wild card's fine. We're not going to win this anyway. It's okay. There's always next year. Right? I mean, gambling is always, it's so prevalent, and we're not immune, obviously, from the topic and our own personal stuff. You've got this college player today who was banished for gambling, And now it's like, oh, don't worry about it. You're back.
At least for now. I don't know. There probably is another. There's everything I'm reading today is like there'll be an NCAA appeal. This is just one judge in Lubbock, and like get up on another judge, and like the whole thing could go on for the whole summer. It feels like.
Well, Art Schlichter went to jail. Like that's who the quarterback. He was my quarterback at Ohio State, and there was a gamble. I don't even know if it was. The legality stuff makes it such a gray area now. I mean. Back then, what you're using? This was calling between states.
This was bookmakers and
yeah. I mean, it was just not at all out in the open. But that doesn't really mean it was anything different fundamentally. Right. Anyway, the point isn't to litigate that. It's just that, he went to jail, and this guy's got to sit out 2 games. This guy is back and gambling to some today. This is a seminal moment where. This basically means that it's all good. Mm-hmm. Betting on your own team. I mean, is there any stopping this boulder rolling down the mountain when it comes to sports gambling? And I don't know that answer. I can't pretend that I'm not in on it, in my own way. It's just basically what we talk about and making 2 or 3 bets a week. But I do it. Mm-hmm. And then if you want to get really into it, then you have the fantasy stuff, which was determined not to be gambling, but I don't know. What is it?
It is. Yeah, it's just it's longer form, less immediate reward gambling.
'86 and sunny in Buffalo today. Maybe hotter tomorrow?
Is that good?
Good question. Yes. Ducking. No. No. Ducking. The Bisons are off today, but are home all week after today.
Right-o. $2 hot dogs tomorrow.
And...
Yeah, what? Dogs?
Dogs. Dogs.
Free admission for dogs.
Free. You don't have to pay.
Yeah.
To get your dog in there.
I want to see if I can do the whole. I looked at not an email. I may have saw a tweet. What is Wednesday? Thursday is lacrosse night.
Correct.
And the mascot will be there, and the bandettes and players and autographs and whatever. So that's Friday is Friday Night Bash. I don't know what else it is, but that stands for itself. Saturday's Star Wars night.
Mm-hmm. I don't know Wednesday either. I glossed over it.
Darn it.
Do you really want to go to a game where dogs are everywhere? Is that actually fun?
I'm thinking people who bring dogs to the ballpark that are reasonably well behaved. So, yeah, I think I do. I don't
reasonably well behaved.
I don't think you roll in there with a dog that hates other dogs or is going to start trouble.
They don't start barking when the pitcher's in his windup.
And if you get there and realize suddenly our dog is antisocial, I think you would be compelled to leave as a responsible dog owner.
Well, I mean, come on, that's not everybody.
Well, again, I think people who are going to take their dog to a ball game would be inclined to be cognizant of their dog's behavior. Is all I'm saying. More so than, someone who's just, going to let their dog be loose in the park and it runs up to you and is barking at your little kid. And the dog when it comes to go, he's never done that before. Like, I don't care. Get him away from my kid.
The leashes are on, right?
I assume so.
You can't just let him loose?
I don't think so.
At dog day?
I would take Fred to a ball game.
If I had to pitch on dog day, I'd be
I would love to take Fred.
What were the odds of this? I'm trying to, this is my job right here. I'm trying to I'm trying to get to the major leagues.
Right.
And I got dogs all around me. I'm trying to pitch here. I don't know. I'm sure people like it. Some people like it. Yes, Star Wars on Saturday, they have a battle on the field after the game.
I've been to that many times.
Does the same team always win? Do the good guys always win the battle?
I don't know how that goes.
This is like 17 years of Star Wars nights. Does it always play out the same? You don't know.
I don't know.
Do you think it probably does? Good guys win it in the end.
I don't know. No,
they should do it based on whether the Bisons win. If the Bisons lose, the bad guys should win the Star Wars battle.
It would
or vice versa.
When I went to it like 3 or 4 years in a row, it felt like it was kind of a continuation of a thing, and therefore, like, they would play hot, like, here's what happened last year, that kind of thing.
Oh.
And
Well, there are 50 movies.
so I think, the bad guys could win, but it's a cliffhanger, and, like, you got to come back next year, maybe, could be a thing. Or I just don't know who the good guys or the bad guys are because it's Star Wars and I can't tell.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
Sal next.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over, it's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster.
Mandatory minicamp begins tomorrow for the Buffalo Bills as they do begin the next phase of the offseason. Do stay tuned. Sal Capaccio is going to join the show next for what we should expect this week. And then staying with mandatory minicamps, both quarterback Jacoby Brissett and edge rusher Josh Sweat are reporting for Arizona's minicamp, and both will not be subject to fines. Heading over to college football, Texas Tech quarterback Brennan Sorsby has been granted a temporary injunction by a Texas judge in Lubbock County that will allow him to be eligible to play in 2026 for Texas Tech after the NCAA ruled Sorsby ineligible following the discovery that Sorsby wagered on college and pro football, including on Indiana, the team he played for in 2022 as a freshman. Sorsby will, however, be suspended the first 2 games of the upcoming season as a punishment. No hockey game tonight. Game 4 is tomorrow in Las Vegas, but some news in hockey. The Kings are hiring Peter Laviolette as their next head coach, and then Helene St. James of the Detroit Free Press is reporting that center Dylan Larkin has a 3-team list on where he'd like to be traded: Las Vegas, Florida, and Minnesota. And then we do have Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight. Tip-off at 8:30. The series does head to New York. The Knicks already holding a 2-0 series lead over San Antonio. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for West New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Have you looked at Greg Wyshynski's ranking of the dog nicknames in the Stanley Pup?
I flagged it. I've not read it yet, but I noted it.
I don't believe I'm familiar with the Stanley Pup, but it's a thing that's tonight, maybe?
I had never heard of it prior to this year. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened other years.
Is it a show?
I guess that's what I think it's something. It's like it's a dog show, like a competition.
Airing in the U.S. and Canada.
Obstacle
it's
course.
Probably not on ESPN then, or else he would write that.
Probably, yeah.
Mm. Well, stay tuned for the Sabres entry in the Stanley Pup. Each team got one dog named for one of their players. Right? Max Dogie is one.
Yeah, I don't.
His name for Max Domi.
Did I not say I haven't read it?
No, you did. I'm sorry, you did. I'm not trying to grill you on this. What we are trying to do is have Sal grill us, because Sal has a trivia question for us.
Oh, all right. I like this. All right, you guys start off right away. By the way, I thought I saw the Sabres pup is Owen Bauer.
Yes. Now we know. There goes that. Yes.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure, because I saw some of these. They were pretty cool. We were at the Greg Rousseau softball game yesterday in Rochester. I was the MC with Micah Hyde for that. They moved it to Rochester this year due to some issues. Mm-hmm. But either way, it was great. And anyway, they have the not the bat boy, the dog, the bat dog. Sorry, the bat dog. His name is Bruce, and it's amazing. Amazing watching this dog run out there, get the bat, and bring it back every time. It's really cute and it's really amazing. Anyway,
this is the Red Wings.
Share that. Dog? Yes, the Red Wings home. It was really cool.
Did you quick? What you brought up the bat dog? Did you last week? There was an incident with a bat dog. Like minor leagues, a highly touted prospect. I don't remember the guy's name or what organization he's with, but they were a visiting team playing wherever, and they have a bat dog, and there was a play, maybe at the plate, he came home to play at the plate. Or there was some confusion, and he ended up, like the dog got in his way as he was jogging or running, and he went to avoid it, and he hurt his knee and like hobbled into the dugout. There was a bat dog problem.
I did hear something like that. Max told me about it. I think he saw it somewhere. But, yeah, well, that can happen, I guess. So, but this dog was cute. All right, my trivia question. Sorry. I'm sorry to derail here. Your trivia question the other day, Mike, about Hall of Famers got me, and I told a few people about it. I even asked a few people, like, over at One Bills Drive, and they're like, oh, and they're thinking like we would. And I'm like, no, Kansas City Royals. And
okay,
people get mad, right?
That's the question then. This is the one about how the Royals are the only team to have drafted two Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Yes. When I asked you that, and then told you the answer, you
hung up.
bolted.
You hung up on us.
I did.
Which
I was mad.
I wanted you to do.
Bulldog helped me. Was trying to help me, like tell me it was a trick question. Basically, this is not a trick.
Okay.
But because your question got me to thinking about Hall of Famers and draft classes and all that, that's how this happened.
Okay.
And I kind of went down the rabbit hole. So we know the 74 Steelers they drafted like 4 Hall of Famers. That's the most in the NFL. What is the record for number? Well, I'll tell you. 3 is the record for NHL Hall of Famers by the same team in the same class. And I know NHL and NFL are totally different the way you draft. But is there any way you could you think you would have an idea on this?
The Red Wings when they drafted Datsuk and Zetterberg?
Well, that would be 2 of them, but no. And in 89, by the way, the Red Wings.
Person we haven't thought of yet is what I think he was going.
Oh, I'm saying no. But the Red Wings in 89 did draft Fedorov and Lidstrom and Konstantinov, who's not in.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I'm going to be able to think of it.
I'm going to guess.
Okay.
I'm going to guess the formation of the '70s Canadians. There might have been a draft.
You're on the right track, but go a decade later.
Oh wow! Oh, Edmonton '80s.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't.
Their first ever draft was 1979.
Okay.
They drafted 3 Hall of Famers in that draft, and one was not named Wayne Gretzky.
I don't know. Wasn't it also a thing like some of the guys were in the WHA? The team, the franchise wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't an expansion draft or anything, right? So.
Well, it was but it was Kevin Lowe, Mark Messier, and Glenn Anderson. But incredibly enough, the next year they drafted Paul Coffey and Yari Curry and Andy Moog, who's debated who should be in the Hall of Fame.
Good run.
Pretty rich. Yeah.
That was it. Anyway, that was what I got. I was wondering, how many people. But you're right, Mike. I didn't think about I know they came from the WHA, and maybe the draft was different, but it's listed as the common NHL draft.
Yeah.
And I was curious to what NHL team might have drafted the most Hall of Famers in one class, and which is how I got to this because of your question.
It wasn't obscure, Edmonton.
No, right.
They're loaded, and so that would be a logical guess.
Yeah, someone a little bit younger than me would have maybe thought about them before the '70s Canadians because they didn't remember the '70s Canadians.
Well,
my first thought was the Islanders, the '80s Islanders, though, Bulldog. That was my first thought if I was just doing it myself and going down that road.
It's not that many Hall of Famers, though. The Canadians also had I don't know enough about how this all worked.
But they had
that provincial rights element.
Special access to Quebec.
Yeah, they got to pick a player from French Canada first.
They had priority on those players, which thankfully ended when the Sabres won the spin of the wheel. Otherwise, Gilbert Perreault would have been a Montreal Canadian. Or very likely could have been a Montreal Canadian.
Probably.
Yeah.
Runaway first overall prospect.
Right.
Okay. Practice this week. Sal, what's different about this week? I mean, if guys aren't there, there's consequences, I guess. That's one thing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be there or else you're going to get fined. Now, you could have an excuse, a personal excuse. Something could happen and the team excuses you. That's happened before. But you have to have an excuse from the team, to be excused, I should say. Otherwise, you have to be there. That doesn't mean you have to be on the field. If you're injured, you're not going to participate, or you could have a hold in, but I don't think there's anybody of that.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is there's
no candidate for that.
Anyone that we expect to not be here for, reasons that would worry us? Although injury could worry you too, but no. Is anyone mad? Right, yeah.
No, the only player I think that we've talked about that could get an extension this season we're wondering about would be Osiris Torrance, but he's been at OTAs. If you're going to do this, you wouldn't be at OTAs, which are voluntary, right? So it's not like you're going to go to those and then not be at the other thing. So I don't think that's going to happen. There are a couple players, the number one name that I haven't seen that I'm going to be interested in, but not for that reason, is Dorian Williams. I think it's a big year for him. It's a big offseason. He has a chance. I just wrote today at WGR550.com about inside linebacker. And, I think it's a true competition between Dorian Williams and Caleb Elarm-Zor. And a couple people tweeted back at me and said, well, are you sure that even Terrell Bernard's going to start? I am. I guess anything can happen between now and then. I think Terrell Bernard, as long as he's healthy, will be the starter. But who's next to him? And I just think Dorian Williams needs to be at OTAs or at minicamp now, and I haven't seen him yet. So let's see. And it doesn't mean he wasn't working out on his own. And I have no reason to believe that he would come in and, there's anything that he's upset about. But he is going into the last year of his deal, too.
leads me to a question I was thinking about asking you already, and apologies for sort of founding this on a negative outcome. If the Bills' season doesn't go the way they want it to, what's the likeliest reason for it? Like, is it, you talk about position battles and these things, which might imply weakness at a position when you don't really have, quarterback is not one of these positions, right? So do you have a couple of ideas toward what is maybe likely to be their Achilles heel, or what it's in a more positive slant? It would just be to ask, like, what do they really need to work on or figure out most of all?
I think there's two different answers here of what would be kind of the given reason versus what might be the actual reason. I don't know, right? Because we would all debate, was Joe Brady the right guy, right? That would certainly be the first and foremost thing. Like, did they hire the wrong coach? Like, if the season goes wrong, did they hire the wrong coach? But I think we could kind of delineate between offense and defense here. And to me, if the season doesn't go the way we expect or the way everyone hopes, it's probably because they have a new defense and they're changing parts. And even the defensive coordinator last week said, we have to be realistic about what we have in year one, trying to put it all together. It doesn't mean he's not trying to win or doesn't think he can't. But he even basically gave us some insight into, I don't have necessarily all the guys and the parts I need right now as I build this out.
This is, I think, like the basement foundation of the house that I don't really want to build all the way. But when Mike alluded to it right at the outset of our show today, as I've mentioned a couple of different times with different guests, just sort of in passing. We haven't really dug in on it yet, and I'm not even sure how ready to dig in on it hard I am myself, but I'm having trouble just assuming nothing misses a beat here. And the biggest part of that, it's connected to McDermott's departure because that means a new defense. So it's not entirely because McDermott isn't there to, sprinkle the magic pixie culture dust around or anything. It's that they're changing schemes, and I'm just sort of bracing for a world where next February comes and there's a postseason wrap-up news conference and we just get told, it was year one with a new defense and we just did not have all the parts we needed. I don't think that's like unreasonable. Like, that's what happens when you replace systems and entrenched coaches.
It's why not to do it.
Yeah. So
I'm
just a little on guard about just assuming like the train's going to show up on time at every stop here.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. I mean, look, when you have 9 years, one of the reasons why the Bills have been very good, one of the top teams in the league, a contender every year for the last almost decade, is something that most teams covet. They have alignment. They had alignment between their ownership, but their GM and their head coach. When I say that, I know there were some fractures along the way in what ultimately happened. I get that. But what I mean by alignment is they did what they had to do to make sure that they had the players necessary to run the kind of system and the kind of culture and the kind of team that they wanted. And that's for short-term and long-term, right? So Sean McDermott, he's the coach, and he's going to have these players, and he has a say in it. And we know that the team made it very aware that he had a say in the players, right? We know that when they had the press conference at the end of the year. This wasn't just Brandon Beane picking players. Sean McDermott had a say in that. The team kind of made it known that was the case. And with that comes, okay, if he has a say in this, he could tell Brandon Beane what he wants. Not only can Brandon Beane kind of go out and get those guys, but they can also develop a practice squad to get those guys to take over for the guys who leave for free agency or a guy who gets injured. Well, the downside of that, and it's really, you love the fact that it happens, but the downside is when you make a really big change like this, you kind of have to go all in on a lot of that, which is the guys you've been prepping that you've even brought in as undrafted free agents, the guys who've been in your practice squad, they're not going to fit this system necessarily. They can, but it's not just a slight tweak here. Like, you have to kind of think totally different on how you draft and the players you bring in, and that is a pretty good overhaul in year one.
With Sal Capaccio, did you guys dig into Ray Davis with Tyler Dunn?
I have not yet done that, no.
I haven't either.
I saw it. I had not read it yet.
Tyler has touted it as like Davis has a lot to say about his role and wants the ball, these kinds of things. And I just wonder what kind of chance he has at getting that.
Right.
He's first-team All-Pro kickoff return. James Cook literally led the NFL in rushing yards. I don't know, Sal, would you do same play caller, if not the same head coach? Would you do anything different usage-wise with running backs this year if you were they?
I'd like to see Ray Davis a little more involved, but he wasn't as effective last year as a runner as he was the year before, I think. Now, I think some of the numbers might show he did some nice things, but I like Ty Johnson in that role. Yes, I would. For me, a lot of it comes down to I want to kind of keep James Cook as fresh as possible.
Right.
He had a lot of carries last year.
Right.
Like, so I don't necessarily have to have Ray Davis carry the ball more. I don't have to have Ty Johnson carry the ball more, but I kind of want James Cook to touch the ball less, to be honest with you. And that means those guys have to step up in that department.
309 carries. Yeah. I'm not counting receiving was another. Sorry, I didn't quickly access that. But whatever. Yeah, it was a big workload. Like I might tell you, I'm more comfortable with him in the 250th range, like James Cook. But he did handle it fine, right? He didn't miss a game.
Yeah.
So, maybe they learned that he knows how to take care of himself and avoid contact, etc. Maybe they feel like, he's proven that he can do that. But, yeah, I mean, 309 last year, previous 3 years, 207, 237, 89 rookie year. Singletary's still here. It doesn't even really count. But as the number one back, 237 and 207 the other 2 years.
I mean, guys, of all the things, like James Cook just kind of really blew everybody away last year, right? I mean, he had such a great season. It was awesome. Good for him. Of all the things he did awesome and all the things that, like the numbers, to me, that was the most surprising thing. Like how much he carried the ball. They gave him this extension. We sat here and debated, and I remember the debate was chicken and egg was, well, are they going to say, we're paying you now, we got to use you more? And my thought was, well, I think you're paying him a lot for the next few years. Like, he's not the biggest dude. I think you want to see that come to fruition and have him available to you. I would never have expected him to carry the ball 309 times. I mean, not only was that high for James Cook, it was high for the league. James Cook last year finished, I think, let me look here, second or third in the entire league in rushing attempts. Third. Behind only Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey last year in rushing attempts.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on to see if we can get that into the 250 range.
He got the ball more than Derrick Henry then.
Right.
And Bijan.
He got the ball more than anyone besides those two dudes, which is another 33 receptions too, if you want it.
Yeah.
So that's maybe a lot. I mean, I wonder. That'll certainly, I'm sure, come up here.
Who's the better player in 2 years, James Cook or Alex Tuck? Who's more? 3 years, if you want. Who's of more value? I don't know. I mean, need I say so? We're at a point in time in this league with running backs where the thing has shifted. Where like you wanted to bet against, I'll speak for myself. I wanted to bet against McCaffrey, Henry, Barkley, etc., because of the number of touches they'd accrued over their careers, and they've kept going. I mean, Barkley was amazing in 24. McCaffrey is always amazing. Even Taylor, well, Henry has to be mentioned here. Even Taylor has been around, but I think the principle is still valid that there is a shelf life to this. So. Yeah, I think I'd want to be more careful with Cook, too. Is that Davis, then? Like, is he – Ty Johnson is the third down guy. Maybe it's Ty Johnson that we move up if Cook were to play less.
I think it's interesting. I still am very interested and curious about last year and how that role shifted a little bit. I mean, they really like Ty Johnson. They brought him back. Josh Allen has called him the best third down back in the league. They really like him. He's very smart on blitz pickup. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. I'm interested in that. And I think we have to note here, too, that Ray Davis has found a role as a kick returner. He was the best in the league at it last year. He was a all-pro kick returner. Like, do they want to make sure they really kind of have him available for that? That's become more of a thing now, and, like, that's something you're going to concentrate on more. So I think all of this has to be kind of put into the pot and stirred up a little bit and figure out how you want to divvy up these roles. I think that part is interesting. James Cook, by the way, has also not been at OTAs from what we've seen. Now, you asked me earlier about what we're monitoring. Like, that's just somebody I want to see. last year we knew the contract stuff was happening. He did still show up for mandatory minicamp. So I can't imagine he wouldn't be there, but it certainly would be a story of him or anybody else wouldn't. But that is somebody you want to see because you haven't seen him yet.
Looking again, Sal, today at the schedule. And so going into week 12, which is Thanksgiving night with Kansas City, let's say the Bills are 8-3. Their bye week will have happened. So through, well, what would that's, I already messed up. It's then 10 games through week 11, 7-3. Like, would you take 7-3, Bulldog?
Probably.
They've got Rams away, Lions, Baltimore.
I would.
All right, so let's say 7-3. Weeks 12 to 16, Thanksgiving night, Kansas City. Sunday late at New England. Sunday night at Green Bay. Saturday night, Chicago. Christmas night or afternoon at Denver the following week. Like, that is a gauntlet.
Yeah, it is.
And so
it is, but I mean, Mike, if you say 7-3 after 10, and I'm looking at the schedule.
Yep.
Okay, if you say no, then you're thinking they have a chance to go 8-2. That would be dandy, but holy cow, that would be really impressive against that first 10 games.
Yep.
Like, you find me, I can find 2 losses in various points.
Easy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, I'll take 3 losses in those first 10 games. I think that's a good job against that schedule.
Then what's a good job in those 5 games? 3-2? 10-5? We'd take 10-5 then. If we take 7-3, I don't disagree with you, by the way. If we take 7-3, then I think we take 10-5.
Probably right, and then a chance to win the last 2 games and go 10-7. I don't know if you're winning the division though. I think you gotta,
Dolphins and Jets,
right?
The last 2 weeks, you got to win those.
Yep.
All right, we'll take 10-5 then.
Yeah, I think so.
Because that should be 12-5, and that should be it's easily playoffs.
It's easily playoffs that should be in contention for the division. I think tougher schedule for New England. But, you know, the usual conversation is the number 13 or 14 for the 1 seed. You're probably not getting there with 12, I wouldn't expect.
Sal, are you into the Knicks?
I was thinking about this today. I am into the Knicks from the perspective of how fascinating it is to watch their fan base and the vibe at MSG. And I think that's really cool. I am not a Knicks fan. But you know what? I've settled on their fans to me are not – I don't root against them because they're not obnoxious. They are very passionate. And, you know, I'll root against Boston teams. I think their fans are obnoxious. I'm not a Knicks fan. I didn't love the, you know, John Starks teams back in the day. This is a fun team to watch. The vibe is awesome. So, yeah, I think it's cool. Now, I think I would love to see Wemby also win it. You know, I think it's a great story, but – I'm okay with the Knicks, and I think it's really cool what's happening in New York with them right now.
If you go through fan bases, which I'm not always inclined to do, I think you probably need to give this one a pass for a couple of reasons. One is it's 53 years since they've won it. Like, hardly anybody remembers that's alive and following the Knicks remembers them winning a championship.
And the owner seems to hate his fans.
Well,
or if
you
not
can
his
add
team,
that if you want.
Is not. I mean, just terrible ownership.
I would say the other thing though is if a fan base has a right to, you know, puff its chest out, so to speak, it's a fan of a team that is absolutely destroying the playoff field like this.
Yes,
I mean, they've won 13 games in a row, and we had Matt Verderam the other day, who it turns out is a Knicks fan. And he knew the stat that they for 12 games their margin of victory 12-0 before the 1-point win is the greatest like in decades in the league, regular season or postseason, and it's more impressive in the postseason.
Right. When
you can just kill like that. Their clinchers have been blowouts. So I don't know. Some teams are not that good, and their fans maybe win all the time, and they're super annoying. But I
was blown away by that
this.
stat. That is incredible. That's right.
Yeah. Right? I can handle this. Yeah. I think Knicks fans should go as hard as they want right now.
100%.
Yeah, they could still lose.
Yeah. I'd like to see a series, you know, but you know, it's funny. Like I mentioned this the other day, Sal, like the hockey final and the basketball final are the exact opposite of each other because I like both of these basketball teams. Like I'm not a Knicks fan either, and I'm certainly not a Spurs fan, but Wembanyama got me in at like the start of these playoffs or halfway through. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty fascinated. I want to see what's what. So I watched a lot of the Thunder series with them. And, the Knicks were just stomping their way through the East, and that was compelling. So I'm pretty good there. I kind of, either way, just give me a good series, give me some drama. And the hockey is giving us drama. It's been incredible, and I hate both of these teams. I just don't, any one scores, I'm mad. And, there's, 9 goals in the game on Saturday night. So I'm mad a lot. But,
I think a lot of people here share your sentiment. I do. I was coaching a 12-year-old baseball game the other day, Bulldog, and a kid on my team said, "Coach, who do you want to win the Stanley Cup?" And then a bunch of 12-year-olds started to say who they wanted to win. And there was a fiery debate about how much they hated either of the teams. Like, these 12-year-olds were like, "How can you like Vegas? No, how can you want Carolina?" It was crazy. It was unbelievable.
Right.
You love to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, you really do.
You learn that from parents.
Yep.
Probably. Not to say you're not, having those conversations around the water fountain at school, but whatever.
Yes. Thank you, Sal. We'll talk tomorrow.
You got it, guys. Thanks.
That's our dude Sal Capaccio on the Western Hotline. His appearances are brought to you by New York's only outlet liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet?
So here we go again. 10-5 with Miami and the Jets, which you want to think would mean 12-5. That gets the job done except for the one.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. We don't know that. It could be the one. Might depend on who you lose to.
Yeah.
But, that's the same. We've had that conversation for 4 years. Like, just, is that good enough? 803-0550, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. We'll look for your calls after the update. This is WGR. Mike Schopp here.
or $77 million, excuse me, 7 by 11. I can find a way to do that for less than $11 million a year because I have the 8th year. And if that doesn't work, then he's leaving. To me, like I'm not ready to just say, "What do you want? Here's $12 million because we love you." Like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I am not on the top of the mountain. I'm not even that like proud, I guess I want to say, or I can do better. Like that insistent here. If they paid him anything of that sort, it's kind of a new day for the Sabres, and maybe it'll work out. I don't love the idea because I don't think it works out for that long, probably. Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty soon where we're likely to be just like, ugh, now here we go again. We've got another albatross contract. But it would be a new day. It would be like the Sabres are now what Terry Pegula
Mandatory minicamp begins tomorrow for the Buffalo Bills as the team is on to the next phase of the offseason. And one area to keep an eye on this week could be at the linebacker position. And more on that position group, Sal Capaccio is now onto the inside linebackers for his State of the Bills series up at our website, WGR550.com. Over in college football, Texas Tech quarterback Brennan Sorsby has been granted a temporary injunction by a Texas judge in Lubbock County that is going to allow him to be eligible to play in 2026 for Tech after the NCAA did rule earlier that Sorsby was ineligible after discovering he had wagered on college and pro football, including on Indiana, the team he played for in 2022 as a freshman. Sorsby, though, is going to be suspended for the first 2 games of this upcoming season as a punishment. No hockey game tonight. Game 4 is tomorrow in Las Vegas. We do, though, have some coaching news. The Kings are hiring Peter Laviolette as their next head coach, and then the Oilers are reportedly consulting the NHL Players Association to see if there are objections that need to be resolved before potential hiring of Mike Babcock. Darren Drager went on to further report that it is determined that there will be an investigation to move forward with this. The NHL is going to manage it. Babcock did resign from Columbus in 2023 before coaching a single game amid allegations of invading players' privacy. So with that, Babcock last coached a game in the NHL all the way back in 2019 with Toronto. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Four seconds. Fox to Wembanyama. Pulls up. Gupper. Won't go. Rebound taken by Vassell. It's over. It's over. The Knicks survive. This magic carpet ride continues. 13 straight victories, and they lead 2-0 here in these NBA Finals.
Mike Breen. Knicks and Spurs, Game 3 tonight. One thing I thought I might bring up with Sal before and didn't, it was all too important what we did talk about, I think. I don't feel like this needed to be said, but I'll say it to you. I was at my alma mater, St. John Fisher University, there's no such word as college anymore.
Right.
I was at St. John Fisher on Saturday with my son and wife. We took a tour, and he had a lacrosse thing, so we were there all day. And they had all their play. It was very hot. They had all their play on that turf field, Growney Stadium.
Growney Stadium, right.
Fisher calls it, and where the bleachers are. Well, there's also bleachers on the big grass field.
But this is the big stadium on campus.
It's the one where when we're at training camp, they're kicking field goals and punting.
Right.
And then you go farther out.
Grass practice fields. This is a turf. At least it was.
This is the turf field.
It's a turf field. Right.
Right. The Bills do some things on that field, but
when they have had, I think this has also changed the last few years, but for many years when they would, because they had the night practice at the stadium the last few years, the return of the blue and red is what they call that. When they would have night practices, maybe even predating McDermott, that would always be in that stadium. And Murph and Eric would call like a fake game with Sal. That was on the turf in that stadium for a night practice. Yeah.
Okay, so I was there Saturday, and it was a long day. At one point, my wife and I walked over. She'd never been there. We walked over to that big field, like where the Bills practice on grass. There's no grass.
Really?
The field is not there. It's all dirt. Wow. So I don't know what they do. Like, I'm not a sod statistician, to be able to tell you what the process is. I'm assuming they're going to have a grass field in there by training camp.
I'm betting that maybe they replace it every year, and you've just never. Maybe. Who would know? I mean,
the camp will be late July, so there's time, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe they just truck it in.
Oh, sure. Like roll out like rolls of sod and just it's already
But as of Saturday, if you looked at it, there's no grass. It's all dirt.
Wow, that's stunning.
Just sort of a probably perfectly manicured dirt.
Perfectly manicured dirt. Well manicured,
but it's not
dirt.
grass. There's nothing grass about it.
Right.
What a place that's become. It's barely recognizable to me from my days as a student. I've been out there many times for the Bills, and I'm used to this.
It's hardly recognizable to me as someone who first went there to cover. I think I went to the first training camp there in 2000 when they moved there, and so much of it has changed. There's just a lot of growth there.
Yeah, in this case, we were in the classrooms and walking around, dining halls and these where I used to be, where I used to live. And they could have said, all right, go, Mike, go find X. I would have gotten lost. I mean, there's just
so much new stuff.
There are only a couple of certain areas indoors where I felt like I knew where I was. And this also made me a little bit sad because I graduated from Fish State 33 years ago, but I could not find one professor's name that I knew. Like, I know this. I've been in this office.
Right.
I've been in this classroom. I know I had this teacher in this classroom. That I could sort of remember, but, it's decades ago. And naturally, the names are different.
Right.
The hallways are the same. The numbers are the same. B135 is B135, but, it's not Dr. Rowan.
No, not anymore. Yeah.
Not Dr. Bain or Colonel Shea. Colonel Shea might have been in that classroom. Civil War. And everybody had a rank. And if you did well on something, you got bumped up. You got promoted a rank.
Okay.
I was Private Schopp every minute of that year. I was Private Schopp.
Never got bumped up.
Never once.
Did you try?
No.
Okay.
And then we went to Gettysburg on a school trip to Gettysburg, Pickett's Charge, the whole thing. And my son is taking that trip this week.
Oh, cool.
And in his class at Canisius, they all have ranks.
Really?
Yep.
Same thing? Wow.
Yep. The teachers, general, corporal, sergeant, something. And then Dr. Rizzo, Mr. Rizzo, he's running it. And on down, the kids all have. And I think my guy might be a little bit low on the totem pole as well. For some reason. I don't know. I'm sure it's fair.
I hope so. Well, this person that you had teaching you at St. John Fisher back then when you were a student there, maybe should get some credit for this. This idea is widespread.
Brilliant.
I wonder if it was their idea or if clearly it's in a playbook somewhere.
I'm so jealous of my son going on that trip.
Maybe it's been written about in a teaching journal and other teachers have picked up on it.
Gettysburg is the best. Yeah. He's going to love it. Well, he and I, we've been there, but it's so interesting and cool. Let's go to Matt here. Hi, Matt.
Hey, guys. Just really quick. I've been a St. John Fisher employee for going on 12 years now, and what they're doing with the field now is not typical. This doesn't happen every year.
Okay.
As you're driving by the 490, you can see, the Bills field there, and you're right, it's dirt. It's been like that for about 2 weeks now. They haven't told us what they're doing. I can only assume that they're making, improvements based on their specifications, but just wanted to clear up, this is not something to typically do, resod every single year.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for the information. I wonder one thing, and now Matt just sort of calling in to bring it up again, trips this wire. I wonder if they're trying to match the grass that's in the new stadium.
A grass match.
Yeah, a grass match. We want, we're going to be playing on this. We want it to be the same stuff we're going to practice on.
That would make sense.
At least, while we're here in Rochester.
And when you have all the money, like football does,
right.
you just make the grass match.
Right.
That could be it.
Or make someone match the grass for you.
If I didn't say so, I'm with Matt that I would assume this is all going to get worked out.
Yeah, I'm expecting there to be grass. Yeah.
I'm also expecting there to be grass, and I'm going to say also like you, the grass match.
Yeah. Now, if the surface in the new stadium had for some reason been decided upon to be dirt, then this would also make sense. But I'm sure that that's not the case. That none of that really needed to be said. Well,
it's a beautiful campus.
No doubt.
It was a great day. Drove around a little bit, saw Naz, and then back around Allendale, Columbia, that area, Oak Hill, Irondequoit, CCR. I think I would still say my favorite ever golf course I played.
It's a nice part of town.
Oh, yeah. Nice part of any town.
Yep.
And we can break first, but I do want to explore the question we put to Sal. And, okay, so if this season doesn't work out, what is probably the reason? And he mentioned Brady right away. Like, well, you could have a season where you feel like at the end of it, you didn't make the right hire. I wonder what that looks like, though. What's going to objectively tell us something about Brady other than like wins and losses?
Mm-hmm.
Like any coach gets judged on that. It can't just be timeouts and fourth down. I mean, there's got to be there's more that we can actually get our hands around.
Challenges.
And challenges. Like there's got to you have Josh Allen. This was, is it complicated with McDermott because they won all the time. And you had to give him, I think he was 98 and 50, McDermott, as the Bills coach. I mean, insanely good. You had to give him due credit for that. But then there were also times like, well, no offense, but maybe I could coach this team with this quarterback and win maybe not 2 out of 3 games, but let's say half. That sounds ridiculous. Does it?
I take some offense. Yeah.
Okay, well, don't make it me then. Make it some assistant coach.
Some other football coach,
never heard
right?
Of.
Some other football coach,
right?
Yeah.
So, what do we learn about that? Like, what do we do if Brady? Maybe we don't like certain comments or certain decisions, but they're 12-5. Like, is there any argument that they screwed it up?
No, I don't think so. At 12-5, I've said for the very first time this ever came out, would you take 12-5 is a great year.
Necessarily every year, every team.
You win 12 out of 17 games. You've had a great year. That's maybe someone out there writing going, I think 13. Okay, I'm not. I think 12-5 is an excellent record. So I don't think you've screwed anything up if you end up 12-5. If you're like in danger of being 10-7 or 9-8, then maybe something got screwed up.
9-8 seems like a record where we would definitely talk like that. 10-7, maybe not. McDermott had 10-7, maybe twice, right? 10 or 11, at least a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever had 10. I think 19 was 10, maybe.
And that was 16 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have their records committed to memory.
I'm just going to look real quick.
I'm not like Terry Pagula with the seeds.
Oh, my gosh. It was so awkward. You're right. The Bills won. They went 10-6 in 2019 when they lost to Houston. They went 11-6 twice. 12-5 last year. 13-3 twice. That includes the game that they lost to Hamlin. They would have played 17 games, but they didn't that year because of that situation. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog at 803-0550. If they don't win, why do you think it happened? How do you think it happened? This is WGR.
Folks,
Speaking of Star Wars night, which is this Saturday at the Bisons, the annual Star Wars night game, is there a movie you'd like to see brought on as a theme for a Bisons outing? Is there a movie where you're like, you know what? Star Wars night, sure, popular, it's great. But, man, if they had Rounders night, say. I don't need dogs in there either. No dogs.
You're so down on the dogs.
I love dogs. I just don't want to go to a baseball game where there are dogs running around.
People who partake in this tell me it's great.
I'll go to the next one. I don't want to go to Kids Day. I don't want to go to Dog Day.
I can't go tomorrow anyway. I got plans. So
me too. It's a little show called ADP Chasing. After this one,
I don't
7:30. Kramer versus Kramer. Would that be a good Bisons game?
The first thing that popped into my mind was Mystery Alaska, which is a hockey movie.
Right.
So I don't know. No.
We don't need. We could probably do it on a pretty low budget because we don't necessarily have to have all the costumes.
I don't know if they have continued this, but I know they did try. There was a Ghostbusters night.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I like that idea.
That happened. I don't know what replaces the big lightsaber battle royale that they have on the field by the paid performers. I don't know what that is in a Ghostbusters night, or if there even is anything like that.
Well, you have lasers.
Okay. Well, right. That don't cross the streams.
Right. Whoa. What does he say? Whoa, easy there, Tex, or something like that, he says.
But
Venkman.
The thing is, like, that's a real special effect from a movie that I don't think they've got, like, access to for a. So I don't know, but I know that they've done that at least.
I think he says nice shooting, Tex. I think that's the line. Does that sound right?
I don't remember.
Whoa, nice shooting, Tex.
This movie came
out
before I had brain damage.
Venkman.
Yeah.
All right, Ghostbusters. Well, maybe they've done that.
They've done that, I'm sure.
Fletch Night, Tootsie Night. Tootsie Night would be what? Everybody comes in drag?
It's Bill Murray again. I don't
it's
know.
all Bill Murray. Everybody comes in drag. I think they would just call that Drag Night.
Yeah, which I'm sure has happened. It's somewhere. I don't know that it's ever happened here.
Tootsie Night. Citizen Kane Night.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Could that work?
No. Well, probably not.
Just sitting around in a newsroom. I don't know. I just feel like Star Wars doesn't have to be the only movie so honored.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre Night.
Well, now
chase the kids around with chainsaws.
Now it's gotten dark. No.
That'll be fun.
My ideas were family oriented.
Teach them how to be careful walking around blind corners. Just you got life lessons here. It's a little heavy for the ballpark.
All fake.
Yeah, sure.
Of course.
All fake. Yeah, but the kids don't need to know that.
Big night. Big.
Get a giant piano on the bass line.
Everybody dresses as little kids. Everybody's clothes are too big. Big night. All right, you can use that. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. We'll be right back.
Mandatory minicamp begins tomorrow for the Buffalo Bills as they hit the next phase of the offseason. One area to keep an eye on this week could be the linebacking core, and for more on that position group, Sal Capaccio, his next article for the State of the Bills series is Inside Linebackers. You can find that up at our website, WGR550.com. In college football, Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has been granted a temporary injunction by a Texas judge in Lubbock County. It's going to allow him to be eligible to play in 2026 for Texas Tech. And this all comes after the NCAA ruled Sorsby ineligible after discovering he had wagered on college and pro football, including on Indiana, the team he had played for in 2022 as a freshman. Sorsby, though, will be punished somewhat. He's going to be suspended the first 2 games of this upcoming season. No hockey tonight. Game 4 is tomorrow in Las Vegas. Some coaching news, though, today. The Kings are hiring Pete Laviolette as their next head coach. And then the Oilers, they are reportedly consulting the NHL Players Association to see if there are any objections that need to be resolved before a potential hiring of Mike Babcock. Darren Draver is reporting that it has been determined an investigation is required to move forward. The NHL is going to manage it, but on Babcock, he resigned from Columbus in 2023 before coaching a single game amid allegations of invading players' privacy. And so with that, Babcock last coached a game in the NHL all the way back in 2019 with Toronto. And then we do have Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight. Tip-off at 8:30. The series is in New York, with the Knicks already holding a 2-0 series lead over San Antonio. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
All right, what's the report from outside?
I was outside for maybe 3 minutes. I counted 8 Q-tips. It's got to be one person that just throws their Q-tips out the window when they're done using them in their cars.
It's Mike Schopp.
One person?
More than one person using Q-tips and throwing them outside?
I don't think I use 8 Q-tips in a year.
I think I've never used 8 Q-tips.
And the Bulldog.
What the hell is going on out there? I don't think I want to work in a place where people roll their windows down if they're using Q-tips for Lord knows what and just throw them on the ground.
Well, you do.
What, is it the 70s?
Oh, that's not very nice.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Driving on the highway 65 miles an hour. I get a little left in my soda from the fast food drive out the window. That was the 70s. Who gives an F about anything?
Throw a burrito out the window.
Nothing matters. 2025, what are you doing?
On WGR.
Throwing Q-tips out of your car.
Sports Radio 550.
Turn the mic on, Mike. I like the Bills discussion as we start to get a little bit closer to the season and, with an eye on the schedule, new coach, new stadium. I like that, and I'm always going to be ready to have that conversation, sort of like what is this season going to be like? It's going to be different, so different in a couple of ways, starting with the facility,
right?
But just sort of, it's the end of an era with McDermott leaving. And anyway, so that's always good. I think that's always good. I did want to say something about the Sabres, though, too, with this Dylan Larkin business.
Okay.
Right? And, nobody take this personally, please, because you shouldn't. But the Sabres made this huge jump this year, fully to their credit. We said it all. Finally, right? I mean, finally, they're at least respectable, but even maybe great. Like that just all happened. It all rushed in, and we loved it. And you want to think that a lot of things will be different now. The credibility stuff with Kekalainen and the seriousness of the organization. Cap going up. Will they play along, right? I mean, just you can be optimistic now. You should be.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just kids that might fill holes. These are also pretty close to established good players, even though the sample size isn't that much. It's not just Rochester, right? We saw Osland. We saw Helenius. We saw these guys perform well.
We've seen Kulik, right.
And even Kulik. So there's every reason to be optimistic. I doubt that their reputation on the league stage for attracting players is much different, though. I think it's at a point where, and this is always something where you have to be careful because there are hundreds of players, and who knows what particular reasons a certain player might have for where he wants to go. I think they got off the mat and established that they can be taken seriously. I don't expect the Dylan Larkins of the future to want to play here necessarily. Like, I think there are places like Buffalo that have done well longer or have just more to offer in terms of endorsements or what, that will always make the Sabres' job in this area tough. It's not just about palm trees, and it's in the past anyway. But here comes Dylan Larkin, who wants a trade from Detroit. I mean, a legacy franchise, even if they haven't won.
Yep.
He wants a trade from Detroit. Where does he want to go? Florida? Wow, really? That's a shocker. Vegas? Wow, really?
Same category, right?
I mean, teams that have won, they're always good. And weather, lifestyle, taxes, right? I mean, these are real things. And then Minnesota, which is different than Florida and Vegas. And that could have been a Buffalo, or that could have been
right
a team, at random almost. Still, though, this is going to be like, this is the norm. This is where a lot of guys, stars that have control over their situation and make lots of money with power, are going to want to go. And if they want to come to Buffalo, that's great. But it's a little weird, for what else is out there. Again, I don't want to sound defensive, just like there are, of course, very personal reasons that players would have for this that could include or exclude anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But, am I wrong here? Like, did the Sabres...
No, I was not...
rise to a level where they're like now a destination?
No, I don't think you do that in 1 year. I think it's a lot. It's a lot. I think their reputation will hang around. Like they're going to need to be good for a few years before it really, I think, changes in a meaningful way. Like for one thing, let me just hockey players are always going to believe in the place they are. Oh, we can do it. I got a good bunch of guys, whatever. All the chatter, you've heard it for all these off seasons where the Sabres ended up never really gaining any headway at all. But like realistically, guys in the league have probably been on teams, or they know guys who were on teams that thought they'd turned the corner. We got it now. We got the formula. Everybody knows it. We got to work. We got to do this. We got to do that. And it didn't stick. It's 1 year. I believe in it. I think there's enough proof all through the year, like a lot of the numbers. Like I think they're provably good. But everybody's not a fan of the numbers necessarily, and everyone's not going to respect them, and everyone's not going to just assume the Sabres are like an unstoppable locomotive now. They might still look at them and go, well, okay, it was 4 months plus 2, okay, 6 months maybe. Get back to me when you show me this is really sticky. And you can't prove it's sticky, now. Like you just, yes, you've improved your image, but man, I think their image had taken such a beating that it will take more than, winning 7 playoff games, which is, what they did.
More than 6 good months.
In the end, yeah. So I was not at all surprised when I saw the news about, I didn't even, there's news about Dylan Larkin's 3 teams. Are we one of them? I didn't even have the thought. And that's not just defeatist Buffalonian guy. I just thought, no, we're not there yet.
You wouldn't know, so you would only think it would have been really strange.
Yeah, right.
If it has a list of 3 teams.
Right.
A team that just ended a 14-year playoff drought is on it.
Right. As opposed to, the teams that have won the last 3 Stanley Cups, which is what Florida and Vegas, I think, are, right? Did Vegas not win before Florida won 2 in a row? No. That's wrong, because Florida lost to... No, they lost to Vegas.
No, yes.
Yeah,
You're
so
right.
those are the 3.
I'm thinking of the year Vegas lost to Washington.
Right, that was 18, I think. That was their first year in the league. Was Vegas losing in the final of Washington? Anyway, I just think it takes more than what we've got so far.
There are always a number of teams in the league that you can buy as a contender. There's never just one. Like, you're never going to be the only contender. There might be how many teams, the season is coming to a close. how many teams in the NHL, as it comes to an end, contended this year? One's in the finals that wasn't even good.
Mm-hmm.
They would count. I mean, they weren't even good.
Yep.
So is it half the league? Is it more than that? What's Edmonton right now? You know, what's Washington? 95 points, same as Vegas. What's Washington? I mean, couldn't they sell the? We got Alex Ovechkin.
Come win
the
one
nation's
more
capital.
with Alex. Right.
We have won a Stanley Cup. Like, there are just arguments all over the place.
Yeah.
And the Sabres would have to win that argument for a free agent.
Well, yeah. You know, to connect this back to the conversation we've been having about Tuck on and off for months, and certainly, you know, again today, I've mentioned this one other time when it sort of came up organically like it just has now. It's not a point I think about a lot, and I don't think at all it's like a hammer. It's a closer to, you absolutely have to keep Alex Tuck. But when you think about the Sabres' reputation and where they are now, you know what probably does not help their reputation with players like you're talking about to get them to waive their no-move clauses? If as soon as you end a 15-year playoff-less life, you let the assistant captain and your second leading scorer walk out the door because you don't want to pay him. I'm not telling you that's why you do it, but I think it's got to be some part of the formula. And that's why you got to do more than just be good for this from December until May. Because if you do decide to let Alex Tuck walk and Jarmo Kekalainen does what you've been finds reasonably priced younger replacements, and they figure out a way, and they have another 100-point season or win the whatever. They have another year where they're this, right? Maybe they don't win it, whatever, but they're this. Then okay, but there'll be a lot of people in the league. They don't have to be right that would watch Alex Tuck walk out the door and go, Sabres, they always do this. This is what they do. They get good, and they let their co-captain sign with the Rangers and the Flyers in a single summer. Dominic Hasek needs to leave. Pat LaFontaine. It's just that's, you got to be old to remember all this stuff. But I think it will ding them until they get back on the ice and show that they can be the kind of team they were last year, that it worked. But if they let them go, there's going to be a lot of skeptics. I don't think necessarily in town as much as around the league.
Well, I don't disagree, but this to me is all about messaging. This is one where I want to be Kekalainen. Put me in that chair. I can do it. I'll explain this move. I think he's already done a pretty good job on Tuck without going as far as to say, like, yeah, this guy's crazy if he thinks we're going to pay him that. Like, he's not he's not insane about it, but he is matter-of-factly describing the situation, yes or no. I want to be fair here, in a way that doesn't sound like Darcy. You know, maybe it's not. Maybe that's not fair. I think the Sabres with Regier had an image where they were weak. They came off weak, and talking about losing guys and just, you know, whatever different chapter you want to point to. That's what the Vanek offer sheet was. Mm-hmm. That's, you know, so long ago anyway, but. Well, I don't think Kekalainen has to suffer for that. I don't think he has to come off weak, and he can do that. I mean, there's sort of an image part of it that's, you know, just not something that you can necessarily control. But I think he comes off, and he's already got a reputation in the league that's, I think, positive. And I mean, you and I can defend it if Tuck leaves.
Sure.
Like, this doesn't mean we're an also-ran. This doesn't mean it's the 90s. This just means that this guy's 30, and we thought he was really good, but we have a good young group of players, and we're going to do that instead. And we just didn't see eye to eye on the money. Next. Like, that's really just about, I think you can, people are going to say what you said anyway. Like, you're right.
That's absolutely right. No matter how Kekalainen sounds, what's the result?
But what does it matter? You know, he has to convince his team, right, his players, that this is intentional, and the players know the landscape. They know that. Mm-hmm. how it works. Guys come and go. So I don't think that would shock anybody if he left or necessarily mean that the Sabres are just, patsies again.
I would think the guys on the Sabres are bracing for it, just like some of the fan base is. I'm sure they don't want to lose him, and nor do I, but I'm bracing for it because it seems like the most realistic outcome sitting here right now. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that Kekalainen sounds firmer and stronger, and he also just got here. So this is the first test, if you will, and I think he can very quickly get put over in the Darcy column if he lets Tuch go.
Okay.
What has to happen is that he's got to pull the right strings to make sure that doesn't happen. And then you're at, all right, well, I believe in this guy. He took that chance, whatever you want to say. I mean, signing him's taking a chance too, of course. It's all a chance. It's sports. But I think thinking about their ability to ever get off of guys 10 team or 20 team or whatever team, no trade lists, I think Tuch is somewhat of a very short term. It's only right now, but it's a referendum on that. Because I think guys in the league are not going to think about how Darcy Regier sounded 20 years ago, or even care about how Jarmo Kekalainen sounded yesterday. You have a juggernaut, and you aren't going to keep going. I don't know, like that. I think that will damage them temporarily. I think almost irrefutably.
Well, I mean, I think both sides of this argument are reasonable. It would vary person to person. How much does it matter what a certain person thinks of that? I mean, there's only so many free agents. The Sabres, with or without Tuch, especially with, do not have room for many additions. Like they're not a team that's going to be fishing around like they have been so many times trying to find anybody to come over and play with them. So it's not a point in time, I think, where like they have a lot to lose in this area if he goes. Because they have their roster mostly anyway. And you can go get a player or two to augment it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say about it.
Well, I wonder how complicated already, like hypothetically, right? We think, I think we definitely agree here that Kekalainen sounds like he's bracing all of us for Tuch to leave. That's what he sounds like to me. To us, right? So let's say, you get there and that happens, or I got ahead of myself. Right now, you're thinking you're him. You're the hockey department. You're having meetings, and you're trying to figure out how to replace Alex Tuch, or just make the team better without Alex Tuch on it. He's leaving. We got to do what we got to do. I wonder how many ideas are getting stricken off the board because of no movement clauses already. Like, there's not a free agent, I don't think, that you should be eager to sign that himself is going to replace Alex Tuch. Like, that's why Alex Tuch is about to cash in free agency, because he's like one guy that it's probably all regrettable money, but he's one guy this year, like, okay, well, that's the best guy out there. He's 30 goals, But anybody else in that marketplace, you're probably not. That's not a plug and play. I found my guy. So it's trades. The trade market is where I've been thinking about, and I don't know. Like some guys have that protection that you can't even. That guy's already got no movement clauses. What? He's been in the league it's only a second contract, whatever. Like, I wonder how many ideas there already were. They tried to get Colton Parayko, and that they got embarrassed by that. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I mean, a trade leaked out. It wasn't their fault it leaked out, but it leaked out. And at least I don't think it was their fault. And they got turned down. And so I just –
Well, this is actually a good thing, maybe.
I think – okay, I want to hear about that, because I think it could already be a problem. That they're like, what about this guy? Oh, he's kind of. Do we know his age? Can we find out if they'll waive it? How hard is it to make plans for Tuch leaving when you don't know who you have access to and don't.
I only suggest this is maybe a net positive if a much higher percentage of the league is tied up than it used to be, than it was 20 years ago. Well, then a lot of teams have this challenge, whether they're a supposed destination team or not. Like they're just, there are maybe stricter limits to what you have the ability to do in player movement. And I think that's a good thing because the Sabres have almost a made team. Like they have 15 good players. They have most of their roster intact. They don't have to, if Tuck leaves, so be it. That's a hole to fill. But they don't have a lot of that. Mm-hmm. They don't really have anything else of that, really. So if it's a year where I can't get guys, that's good for me because I'm already in pretty good shape, and the other teams need guys, and they can't do it either. So I don't know if that's true, but it seems like it is. That because of this point, young players getting long-term contracts like right out of the womb, and the power the players have to deny certain player movement all adds to that there's just not as much for a GM to go do.
Unless you're a team like Florida or Tampa, and there's financial advantages there too, tax dollars, that kind of thing, that are like already. Where do we start this? Dylan Larkin, 3 teams he's willing to be traded. Florida's one of them. Tampa's not on the list. I don't know. But like those teams will get access to better guys. They have a deeper pool to swim in than you do. If you're on a guy's list and they're not. Like you're more likely, if you're the GM of the Florida Panthers, this Larkin thing, it's hilarious that he submitted those 3 teams. But if Detroit ends up in a few weeks at, we want to do something, we need to do something, we don't want to just keep him here and hold him prisoner, they might end up making the best deal they can with a team that's on that list. So, Florida ends up with Dylan Larkin. Let's just say, I don't know what they have to give up here youth-wise. I mean, it's such a veteran team already. But they land Dylan Larkin to play behind Alexander Barkov. Oh, my God. And I'm over here, Alex Tuck leaves, and where am I? Guys will waive for those teams. And so as hard as it is for the huddled masses of teams to do business, the Sabres are not an exclusive company there. They may be at the bottom of a long pileup of teams that aren't desirable, and I think still aren't. But there are teams that can and will get those players. And that makes it really tough.
Fair enough. There aren't that many of those teams, I guess I want to say.
Right.
And so what you have to do the Sabres have always been, to some extent or another, disadvantaged. They've always been this. Always. So what can you do about it? What you have to be able to do about it is get in and then win. Somehow win that matchup. Somebody else beats them. I mean, a year ago, Florida's 2-time winner, and, you could have predicted that they would slide a little bit because it takes a toll, but we wouldn't have thought they would have the season they did.
Even with Barkov out all year, I didn't think they were going to be in the basement like they were.
And that didn't happen until September.
Right.
So you're lining up for free agency and different things last year. Would have been just as popular a destination as now, at least, and they were terrible. So, and by the way, for all the time we've spent on Alex Tuck's age, what's Larkin?
29.
29. They're both 29. I don't know. 803-0550 for your thoughts. Really interesting area, really interesting aspect of this is, do the Sabres need to overpay because of their image or any of these points, location, their past? Should that matter? You're in the room with Kekalainen. What do you say? I really don't want it to matter. I don't want it to get me into a, the wrong car.
I said at the outset of making what ended up being a very long-winded point, like, this is not why you do it. It's not why you just meet his demand. But it's also, you can't pretend it's a non-factor. Like it's public. People are paying attention to how you handle your business. The Sabres have a certain kind of reputation, and all I'm saying is there's a way to view that from as far away as you want to get. That's there's the Sabres again.
There is 803-0550 again. The number back after the update. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. WGR.
Mandatory minicamp does begin tomorrow for the Bills as they enter the next phase of the offseason. And one area to keep an eye on this week could be the linebacker room. And for more on that position group, Sal Capaccio now has up at our website, WGR550.com, the next part in his State of the Bill series, and that is dealing with the inside linebackers. Over in college football, Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has been granted a temporary injunction by a Texas judge in Lubbock County that is going to allow him to be eligible to play in 2026 for Texas Tech. This all comes after the NCAA ruled Sorsby ineligible after discovering he had wagered on college and pro football, including on Indiana, the team he played for in 2022 as a freshman. Sorsby, though, is going to be somewhat punished. He's being suspended the first 2 games of this upcoming season. No hockey game tonight. Game 4 is tomorrow in Las Vegas, but we do have some coaching news. The Kings are hiring Peter Laviolette as their next head coach, and the Oilers are reportedly consulting the NHLPA to see if there are any objections that do need to be resolved before potentially hiring Mike Babcock. Darren Dreger is reporting that it has been determined an investigation is required to move forward, and the NHL is going to manage that. But on Babcock, he resigned from Columbus back in 23 before coaching a single game amid allegations of invading players' privacy. And so with that, Babcock last coached a game in the NHL all the way back in 2019 with Toronto. And then Game 3 tonight of the NBA Finals, tip-off at 8:30. That series heads to New York, and the Knicks already hold a 2-0 series lead over San Antonio. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It seems pretty weak that Dylan Larkin is asking out of Detroit, especially because, like, they're not far off. And he is the captain of a team that has imploded in the final month and change of the season time and time again at this point. Some of that is, like, your own accountability. And I just think that it's kind of weak sauce to ask out when you're that close. I know that he's clashed with Stevie Y, but, like, I don't like to see that from a captain.
Pete Blackburn. Strong words. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Thanks for listening. It is 86 degrees out. Just so you know.
Don't complain.
You needed me to tell you.
It's not too hot. It's fine.
It's fine. It's hot, though. It's fine.
Of course it's hot.
It's not great. Well, is it great? Maybe it's great. It's not perfect. How about that? 86 is not perfect.
Yeah. It was not that hot yet. I played golf yesterday morning, and it was as nice as I feel like it's been any day I've been outside all year so far.
Yep.
But it was not. It got hot later in the day. Today was much hot. Like I often will not even really feel the sweat on me if I go biking for 90 minutes or so, because the wind just sort of and today was a day where I was sweaty when I was done, which does not always happen on the bike outside. So that's a certain way for me to measure how hot it is. It was hot this morning.
Yeah, it's your own system.
Right.
How sweaty am I?
I don't have a weather report, but yeah, I guess I just gave you one.
Here's Brian next. Hello.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Long-time listener, first-time caller, season ticket holder since the odd, right? And as a follow-up regarding Tuck, the biggest thing I wanted to try to talk about with him is everything that he did, what I noticed during the regular season, as far as I just think he's a great two-way player. Obviously, his penalty killing speaks for himself. I think the Montreal series obviously wasn't necessarily a good indication of truly who he is, right? I think most of us could probably admit that. But my question is, we only have, $12.5 million worth of cap space, right?
Yep.
Thanks to that lovely Skinner contract. But if we sign him for 10, how do we even come close to being able to afford Byram or Benson or anybody else like that? Cutting or getting what's the status on the Greenway contract?
Good questions.
Norris, McLeod. Can we just get rid of these guys and gain that space, or are they counted against the cap?
You can divest yourself of any of those guys. I don't know, no trade, no move. I don't know how flexible the Sabres end of all that is. Like if they can just do whatever they want with any of the people you mentioned, I kind of doubt it. But the way to do it, for one thing, Byram, if they extend Byram, he is currently under contract already for 6 point something for next year. That
as an RFA.
No. He's not an RFA. He has no status this summer. He is under contract for next season. That number stays the same. You can sign him for $9 million over 7, but it will not begin. It doesn't change his cap number until the season after.
Okay.
Right? Benson is a brand new contract. That'll be big. So the names you mentioned, Norris is at the top of the list to me.
Right.
If they can divest themselves of that, I don't think that's going to be easy. Greenway, you mentioned, is another one. That's $4 million for next year. McLeod is $5 million. You know, talk about guys who disappeared. He was a ghost almost the whole playoffs, McLeod. You can move money around that way and divest yourself of. But you know, it's not. Justin Danforth maybe is an LTIR guy. I saw something over the weekend indicating that there's some question about whether he'll ever really recover from the knee injury he suffered. So that's close to $2 million if you LTIR him, long-term injury reserve. So there's ways, but no, they'll have to do things if they want to, which they certainly should. At least in the case of Benson. Benson will have an impact on the cap, and it'll be big because he's been under $1 million, and he's probably going north of 7. So you're going to have to do something. Probably going to have to do something whether you keep Tuck or not. You're going to have to. There's going to be guys that you got to move out for money reasons. I would think Krebs is also an RFA, and that's like he's become like a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he plays everywhere for this team, and I don't know, like his last contract was reportedly, it was arduous. Like it just didn't come together very quickly. And now he's got, is he a first line player? Is he a fourth line player? Like what is he sitting across the table from an NHL team? Like how do you pay him? So that might be complicated. And I'm not suggesting they'll just walk away from him because he's been I think a very useful player. But they got to figure that out too. And I've seen estimates of that being like $3.5 to $4 million a year. So there's a lot to be done. A lot of moving pieces potentially.
If it isn't this year anyway, though, it will eventually have to happen, and that's necessarily a part of the calculus on this decision.
Yep.
Is whether it's this year or next for any of the guys you mentioned. If they wanted to do it, who's the better bet? I think those guys are maybe all better bets at their price than Tuck would be. But that's all. That's nothing. That's not much to say, because that's just another way of saying that Tuck is the best player of the group, because he's going to cost the most. But you know, his age too. Thanks, Brian. Good question. You follow Warren Sharp, right?
Sure do.
A couple of fun ones from him today. He had a tweet about Max Brosmer, who started at quarterback last year in Week 17 for Minnesota. And, as Warren points out, completed 9 passes for 51 yards in the game while taking 7 sacks. And they won 23-10. First team this century, Warren writes, to win by double digits with fewer than 5 net passing yards. All right, good stuff. I didn't take into account what century or net passing yards, like in terms of like ranking these things, or some of the details. But I thought to myself, or double digits. This was a double-digit win by Minnesota against Detroit in Week 17. I didn't care about that. But I did think to myself, after reading that, what's the worst quarterback performance in a Bills win ever? And one game immediately came to mind. But I'll put it out there for you, and you can maybe try to beat it.
Okay.
1974, Bills-Jets. Ferguson, 0-2. I mean, that's you can't say that isn't bad.
No. Well, I mean, it's only 2 misses.
That's right.
And no one else played quarterback in the game. He played the game.
Yes.
Wow.
It's that wind game.
Okay.
Namath.
0 for 2.
What's a worse day? Forget the final score. Forget who won. What's a worse day? Ferguson, 0 for 2. Namath, 2 for 18 and 3 picks for 33 yards. What's worse? Maybe Namath is worse.
Namath is worse.
2 for 18, 33 yards, and 3 interceptions.
Yeah. Especially in the modern day, the 3 interceptions. Listen, at least Fergie didn't turn it over.
Ferguson also in this game had a rushing touchdown.
Well, I mean, there's his value right there.
All right, find me a Bills win where the quarterback had a worse day than 0 for 2. I mean, I'm sure he held. I'm not picking on Ferguson. I'm sure he held to the game plan,
which was hand
give
the
ball to
OJ. OJ Simpson, yeah, right.
Which he did 31 times,
right.
And Braxton another 17. Wow. 48 handoffs. Ferguson had 10 rushes of his own, 3 for Larry Watkins. So there were 61 Bills rushes.
How
in this
many
game.
yards? You're looking at the box.
Yeah.
How many yards did Braxton generate on those 17 carries?
84.
Oh, nice.
OJ 31 for 117. Braxton's average is better.
Yeah.
Which, they're probably keying on OJ.
You think?
I'm guessing. But it was super windy. If you ever look up this game, 1974, how does Namath go 2 for 18?
Yeah,
and Ferguson go 0 for 2? It was impassable.
There's no way there's going to be like I'm not going to have a long list of games that I'm thinking of, but I remember a Bills Texans. No, they didn't win that game. They lost it 12-10. Where there were the safeties and all that. Yeah. So no, I don't. I know I'm not gonna. I don't have a game that I'm like always thinking about. Oh, I remember this game the Bills somehow won in the blank. I don't have it.
Okay, I really don't have another one.
Yeah, 0 for 2. Wow.
0 for 2.
How long did it take you to find the game? Did you have this game on your mind? You had looked at it before?
Yes.
You knew? Okay.
It immediately came to mind.
Just drew
I saw the Warren Sharp tweet, what Bills game would be this game, and it would be this game.
Right.
But that's not necessarily, what everybody else would say.
Right. It's not factually correct.
No, it's
that's
just
the game, but it's a
0 for 2.
Terrible game. Yeah. That they won somehow.
Maybe Cleveland's answer would be Derek Anderson. Here,
right,
when they won 6-3,
and
he went 2 for that, like this. He had the Namath line.
Yeah,
2 for 17 or something like, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Also, Warren today had a tweet with every team's last shutout win, the last time they had a shutout. Do you know the last Bills shutout?
I don't know it, but I did see the tweet, and it's been 4 seasons since they've had one. So we just talked about that Viking game from Josh's rookie year that almost was a shutout, but it wasn't.
Right.
A late Vikings touchdown. So it's predating that, I'm going to guess. Boy, I don't remember.
This game came up last week when we were talking to our guest from Houston. Because he was it last week?
Oh, right.
Because he was like, he threw a little jab in about the Bills versus the Texans.
40-0.
40-0. The hint would be that this game, their last shutout, was against a quarterback that started against them last year and beat them, Davis Mills.
Right.
This is the beginning of the 0-1 season. You have the Pittsburgh loss, and then a shutout in Miami. They beat Washington here, maybe with Fitz, and then they beat Houston here 40-0. So they had 2 shutouts in 3 weeks, and that's their last one.
Which season is this again?
21.
21, okay. Yeah, block punt. Pittsburgh, yeah.
So a couple of little nuggets there from Warren today. I've been playing those puzzle games that we talked about on Friday.
Of course you have.
82-0.
Of course you have, and of course I haven't.
I want to say something about that game later.
Okay.
Hockey82-0.com. I'm losing myself in these.
I did go home and brag to Owen that G ended up loading that Sabre lineup that we came up with into the game, and that we went 82-0, and I felt pretty happy about that. That our first kick at it with a Sabres team, we nailed it.
Technically, that's the 84-0 site, and you can enter anything you want, I think.
Okay.
82-0, you have to spin
Oh, right. Oh,
like you
see.
and I did.
Okay. Yeah,
we got
yeah.
Gordie Howe and Bobby Orr together, still got beat.
Tony Esposito and Gold killed us.
Late stage Tony Esposito.
That's right.
Was the problem.
That's right. Yeah.
80s Tony Esposito.
That's right.
They're fun, though. I like the Geo Sport one where you touch places around the world. There are a couple like that. I know. Great time to be alive in this sort of context.
I guess.
Online apps and puzzles. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog back after this. This is WGR. One more little bit from that Warren Sharp tweet about teams and their, if you will, shutout droughts. There were, 7 teams that had shutouts last year. So they've gone exactly 0 years since their last defensive shutout. The Bills have gone 4. They had one in 22, actually, in a short period of time in 2021. And then 4 years without since. Washington is at 34 years.
34 years.
Yes. So that'd be 91, I guess, which was their big year.
Right, I was going to say, have they been any good in 31 years?
Not really.
I guess not, really. 2 years ago maybe was the best year they've had in a very long time.
In 1991, they had 3 shutouts in their first 5 games, en route to a Super Bowl season, 14-2, and then they beat the Bills in the Super Bowl there in Minneapolis. So that's their last shutout was in 1991.
Well, watch out for them to win the Super Bowl if they get a shutout early this season. Go wager everything on Washington then.
So if you missed it, Bulldog found his way to one of those 8-teamers. Did you use Washington? You had a great price on yours.
Washington is involved in that one.
Is it?
Yeah, I think. I'm not positive.
New England, Pittsburgh, Jags. I think I saw.
See now, here we go. Here comes a thing that's different.
This was so much fun Friday night with my family, just nominating teams and combinations. Trying to tell people who are not really well versed in betting that you just don't only want to pick the favorites. The point is to not do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just as probably, almost definitely, my combinations will be wrong. Also likely that the favorites will not all win. We had, 2 years ago in the AFC, they all did. This year it seems a little bit more scrambled.
Sorry, I'm with this new relationship I have with a new app. I've not quite yet figured out how to quickly get into it on my iPad, so I had to go to my phone because that is pretty expedient. Anyway, yes, Washington is in the $10 to win $472,232.26 parlay.
Nice.
Is Washington is there? Carolina's in there. With the Niners, with the Packers, Denver, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, and New England.
That's exactly no favorites.
Right.
I'd hate to see you get 7 of those right.
Yeah, no, it'd be tough. I'm curious to see what a buyout looks like on that, although, if somebody's eliminated, that's all she wrote.
If you lose on one, hopefully they keep it close.
Right.
If they're out early, then you're probably dead.
Right. The other one is Bills, Bengals, Jaguars, Broncos, Eagles, Lions, Saints, Seahawks. That's $10 to win under $40,000.
Only 2 favorites that I heard. Buffalo, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Seattle is not the favorite.
The Lions.
No, they are.
The Lions are, yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are.
I think they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they finished last.
Yeah.
Well, they tied with Minnesota at 9-8 in that division. The Lions are here for the Bills home opener, week 2. They're not here yet, but they will be here for that game. They open at home with New Orleans.
Do you know that they're not here?
No, I don't.
Wow, I just realized I have I have 8 $25 free bets that I have to use by
6. Go.
No,
they leave you to it.
I've got a week.
What are these free bets?
I've got a week. Well, I'm new. I just signed up.
This is WGR.
Mandatory minicamp begins tomorrow for the Buffalo Bills as they begin the next phase of the offseason. And one area to keep an eye on this week could be the linebacker room. And for more on that position group, Sal Capaccio now on to the inside linebackers for his State of the Bills series up at our website, WGR550.com. Over in college football, Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has been granted a temporary injunction by a Texas judge in Lubbock County that's going to allow him to be eligible to play in 2026 for Texas Tech. And this is all following the NCAA ruling Sorsby ineligible after discovering he had wagered on college and pro football, including on Indiana, the team he played for in 2022 as a freshman. Sorsby, though, will be somewhat punished. He's going to be suspended the first 2 games of the upcoming season. No hockey game tonight. Game 4 is tomorrow night in Las Vegas. We do, though, have some coaching news. The Kings are hiring Peter Laviolette as their next head coach, and the Oilers are reportedly consulting the NHL Players Association to see if there are any objections that need to be resolved before potential hiring of Mike Babcock. Darren Drager went on to further report that it has been determined an investigation is required to move forward. The NHL is going to manage that. But then on Babcock, he resigned from Columbus in 2023 before coaching a single game amid allegations of invading players' privacy. And so with that, Babcock last coached a game in the NHL all the way back in 2019 with Toronto. And then Game 3 of the NBA Finals is tonight, tip-off at 8:30. The series heads to New York, and the Knicks already hold a 2-0 series lead over the Spurs. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I don't think Michael's ever done drugs.
It's Mike Schopp.
I don't know if anyone's ever offered him any.
Let's go over some of the symptoms of marijuana use, shall we? You tell me who this sounds like.
It's the Bulldog.
Slow moving, inattentive, dull, constantly snacking, shows a lack of motivation.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog on WGR Sports Radio 550.
Game 3. I'm guessing it's a must-watch.
I'll be there. Yep.
I will not be there until, for a while at least. Everybody makes a run, though, so I don't think I'll miss a lot.
No,
early.
you'll probably be fine. Yeah.
I'll be going to a girls' lacrosse game tonight.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll miss
All right.
probably at least the first half. When does it start? 8:30?
8:30, 8:40 this tip.
8:50? Can it
No.
get you to 8:50?
They are within 10 minutes of 8:30, which is like the most tolerable I can be about a start time not being a start. Like, 8:30 should not mean later than 8:40.
Love it.
To me.
If it's 8:45, it should say 8:45.
Right.
How's the broadcast? I was a Breen fan in my NBA
I
days.
really like Mike Breen a lot. I don't have anything real good to say about it's Tim Legler and I think Richard Jefferson.
Okay.
And one of them, I'm pretty sure, is Jefferson is like, it's just a ghost. There's just nothing there.
Not adding a lot for you?
There's nothing there. But I'll tell you this: watching Game 2, that was Friday night, right? Watching Game 2, the way it was going. Here's the commentary about the broadcast. I said, the thing I most want to see. There were a few minutes left in the second quarter. And I'd let Fred out, just get some, little stuff around the house before I go to bed kind of thing. Like, let me go do that now with a couple minutes left in the second quarter. Because you know what I don't want to miss? I don't want to miss halftime. Because that's inside the NBA crew there. And like that halftime started, and Ernie Johnson, like I know these people.
Ernie.
Big Ern. He just like. It's very quick. What's the score? Is the situation, Charles? I know you're dying to go. So and Barkley just went, and it was great. I mean, really great. Very hard on Wembanyama, rightly so. But with the this happens. Like you're getting your butt kicked. He didn't say butt. He said the other word the number of times. I won't.
Tush.
That's right. You're getting your tush kicked. He's like, I remember I was the best kid in high school in my town or in the state. And then we played so-and-so, and he's got the school name and the name of a kid who he said just kicked his ass. Guy just killed. And it's like my mind was racing. I didn't make good decisions. Same thing in college. Somebody from LSU, I don't remember the name. He's just got these examples like it happens. You can be an all-time great player. Not that he used that phrasing about himself, and you're just, you're learning. And man, when the end of that game came and he had that look to give them the lead, maybe the win, and it didn't go in, I was like, oh, I mean, he's having this series so far that it's like, it's not your time yet, young Jedi. And if he'd have nailed that shot, I mean, it could have just flipped the whole thing on its head. But I mean, don't miss halftime is my advice. Like I just that's what the broadcast is to me. They're so good, those guys, Shaq and Kenny Smith, really good.
Shaq, Kenny, Moose and Goose.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm also not real dialed in on any part of this other than I'm curious about Wembanyama and like the Knicks seem fun. So like the announcers to me, I don't know if they're.
I understand.
I'm not. I'm just not dialed in enough to give you an out. But I just feel like Jefferson is just an empty suit. I don't know. Like they show the three of them standing there on the court, like for the scene setter, and he's just. I think he's maybe just pretty inexperienced. I don't know how long he's been doing it, but he's the one guy that like is just staring at the camera the whole time. Like he just looks like I don't know what I'm doing here. Ask me something about basketball. I'll try to help.
You would have watched Imus, right? When Breen would be on?
I mean, I listened to the Imus show before it was on TV when Breen was their sports guy.
Yeah, this was that.
Okay. All right. I don't remember. I listened to it in the car when I lived there.
I would have it on when I worked in Rochester in the mornings. I would have it on MSNBC, maybe was the channel.
Yeah, okay.
And I ripped off Breen at times.
Yeah.
Like I was new in a job where I was doing updates and I was, pretty stiff, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty straight. And Breen would do things like he'd tee up a clip, but it would be something completely not what he was talking about. And I started doing that immediately. And I would love tilting my colleagues and Beth would just laugh every time. You would just, it'd be Bill Klein's voice or it'd be just some stupid non sequitur, just something completely irrelevant. And I'd be like, just want to make sure you're paying attention. All right, that was not it.
Yeah.
Then I would do, because, every one of these always sounds the same. You set up a play-by-play clip from something that happened the night before, and there it is. And, oh, he scores! It always sounds the same.
Right.
And I thought, why don't I just say that? So, this and the Sabres won it at the end. And then I would pretend to call the play. And then it's Mike Schopp on with the call. The Sabres over Dallas in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. So, like, Breen was a definite influence for me.
Oh, yeah.
Just watching him. And he was really dry, really funny.
Yeah. I loved him.
He might have been the voice of the Knicks at the time, but maybe not yet.
Yeah. I loved him. I this is like 88 to 90 I'm talking about when I lived there. So I don't know what that might have been his only gig at that point. I don't even know. Right.
And I'm talking about late 90s.
A little bit later. Yeah, right. So I didn't come to that on TV. I came to that in my car like a proper American. Sports radio. There it is. It's on it. And I've told you this before. I don't know if you remember. Maybe once I get into it, you will. It's sort of like you're saying. He did this thing. You can assume everyone was in on it, but it was one of the Necros had pitched the night before.
Okay.
And they had
I like it already.
They had a clip of, I don't know if this coincides with Stump Merrill, but Stump Merrill was a guy they made a lot of fun of on that show.
Yankees manager.
When he managed the Yankees.
And they were bad.
Yeah. And so it might have been him. It could have been anybody. I don't know. It might have been a Yankee guy. But somebody said in this clip, the thing you got to really worry about when you're facing the Necros, either one of the Necros is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And Breen comes out of the clip just, this is what's wrong with this country.
Here we go.
We continue to stereotype and generalize using these antiquated, offensive terms about these people. It's not right. It has to, you can hear the others all sort of taking turns trying to interrupt him, but letting, it's a bit, right? Like, Mike, and he's yelling, right? There's lots more stuff. And eventually, it's like, we talk on or off the air about Emily Latella last week?
Off, but yes. I think off.
It's that bit.
Right.
Like, he's
one word.
He's yelling. Everyone's trying to get, and finally somebody, he said Necros. Mike. Oh. Sorry. Yeah. And then just went on with the rest of the other scores or something. I was just like, I want to do this for a living. Like, that is great.
Yeah, he was really sharp.
Smart, really funny, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he'll have the game tonight.
Yes, he will be on the call for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Yes.
I'm going to see some girls lacrosse, and then I'm probably going to play that hockey 82-0 a few dozen more times.
Yeah, all right.
I got to 75-7 with a team. I'm having more fun finding ex-Sabres that you might not even ever remember playing for different teams and trying to make the playoffs, trying to basically break 500.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to win with a team like that. Probably. I mean, I guess I could get Eichel or Reinhart and just, the best players they've ever had who ever played for something, LaFontaine for the Islanders or something. So I guess that'd be possible. But I just built a team with Adam Mayer and
yeah,
and Dave Snuggerud. I think it was Dave Snuggerud, maybe not. Somebody like that. Then I asked Joe. So this is a game where you spin and it gives you a team in a decade, and you're making a 6-player starting lineup. You're trying to make the best one possible, and you can get stuck. Like I had one where I needed a goalie last, and I drew the 90s Lightning or something, and they did not have a good answer. Like
right.
that, I was stuck at that point. So I asked Joe, because he loves this stuff, what is the optimal path by positions in your opinion?
Yeah, you know how weighted goalie is. Is it eras of guys' careers? Like what? Yeah, when we took Tony Esposito, and
because we had to.
We had to.
I know.
But it was 80s, and does that mean we don't get all? We just get 80s Tony Esposito? That's
probably the case.
That's probably what killed us, right? Okay.
Yes, but I wondered from Joe, like if you want, do you fill goalie first? If you have a team that has if you get like the Penguins with Fleury and Crosby, say, who do you pick?
Right.
Or do you pick Malkin? Or do you pick Letang? Like, who do you want to pick from a team that had both a Hall of Fame caliber center and goalie? And he said, if I got that far with this game, I would lose my mind. I'm not answering your question.
I don't want to consider your question. I don't want to try to answer your question.
No, he dismissed me. Right. I'm not telling you. I'm not doing it.
I just had a baby, for crying out loud.
Just had a baby. I got golf to play. Not doing it. But I would like to know that if anybody's serious.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure somebody is. Like, dying to get the perfect score or something. You're out there just banging away at it. What do you do first? I feel like filling defensemen first is best, but I don't know. All else equal.
Right. Yeah, I just feel like you can find like almost every team every year has somebody who's a leading there's defensemen who score 60 to 80 points a season. Like those, especially if you're in the 70s and the 80s, like that's pretty rare. There just weren't a lot of guys that put up points like that.
I like starting with D because there are 2 of them. So I can get, then I spin Bobby Orr, I can still get Bobby Orr just because I picked Rod Langway already.
Right.
A lot of them, it looks like to me, are just, I had one team where everybody was a center. And I forget who it was. I played it 10 times today. I mean, it only takes a couple minutes
to
play it once. And you're not playing against anybody. So you just sort of finish it, they give you your record, and then you're done.
Yet. You're not playing anybody yet. Maybe there's a way.
I don't know if they have that.
Maybe there's a way to make it competitive. That's what I'm saying. They don't have it yet, but maybe that'll come.
This is going to come and go. You said this about yourself and Immaculate Grid.
Right.
And that's me. I don't hardly ever play Immaculate Grid. And I want these to be like the New York Times puzzles, too. I'm not going to sit there all day and just think. I just feel like that's almost cheating. Just pick an answer. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Who are you playing against? Pick a guy.
Right.
And if it comes up Immaculate Grid and it's like Carolina Panthers and some other obscure, I'm just not going to stare at it all day.
Right. Yeah.
I'll not finish.
I'll move along.
Incomplete.
Right.
My final score would be incomplete.
Most of the dabbling I ever did, I think I mentioned, like for some reason it was glitching on my iPad whenever I would see the tweets. It would be like it was mostly Sabres ones that would draw. Like, all right, I want to try this. And I started going to it, like clicking it, and it would be a different one. I'm like, I'm not going to stick around long enough to try to find out why this happened or how to access the puzzle I wanted to do. I'm just going to close this out and forget it ever happened. That's my reaction, right? I'm not going to dig in. I don't really care that much. But the ones that I would often try and that I did even successfully participate with, it was always Sabres ones. And mostly all I wanted to do was see how low of a percentage can I find, because I'm a Sabres freak, right? So it's Sabres Columbus, right? Say, like, who's the best answer? Like, I want to find the guy that like 2% of people are saying. Mm-hmm. Like, that's my quest.
Or less.
Or less. And I would often do that. And once I was done with the Sabre column, like, I'm done with the puzzle. Like, I'm not that interested. I'm not that interested in the Kings and Rangers crossovers. It's I wanted to see how well I could do with just the Sabre guys. So.
Buffalo and Columbus ends up as whom then?
I don't even know. Jean-Luc Grandpierre.
Love it. Perfect. I got Zach Kassian and Johan Larsson to come up on mine today by spinning 2020's Utah.
What?
If you get 2020's Utah, that's Arizona.
Oh, okay. Right.
And Larson played for Arizona.
Yeah.
After he left here, and Kassian played for Arizona in his last season.
Right.
The year after Larson had left, or a year or two after. But that's a fun aspect of it, is you see names you've just not thought of in years.
Right.
So I want to find a team of all either ex-Sabres or future Sabres. If you get like the 60s Flyers or something, you got to find it. Hopefully there's a guy on there. You get you get Ron Schock or somebody. You get somebody that from collecting cards, I'll know this. I'll see this person in a Sabres card.
Right.
And I want to make the best team I can with that. I'm not trying to get 82-0 that way.
Right.
Because that's almost boring.
Right.
I want to make it interesting.
Here's a name for you, Jim Lorentz.
Jim Lorentz, sure.
Right.
Boston.
Bruins before here, right?
But I'm probably not picking him. Well, no, if the point is, like I just said.
Right. You're going to pick him over.
You can.
Wayne Cashman or somebody, probably, because you're trying to accomplish a all future Sabres team.
Or McNabb.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Were they traded for each other?
No, McNabb was Andre Savard.
Andre Savard came from Boston
in the McNabb trade.
Right. I've made that mistake before. That's right. What about Lorentz?
I don't
we got him from Boston.
It might have been an expansion thing. I don't. No, that's not right.
The Sabres got him from Boston.
Yes, but he's not. So he's not here at the very beginning, though. I don't think. So I don't think it's expansion. I don't know what it might. It might be one. It used to be like a waiver draft. There was.
Oh, he played for the Blues and the Rangers also before he came here.
I thought I knew the Rangers were right. I guess I thought it was after Buffalo.
He was traded by the Rangers to the Sabres for a second-round pick.
Okay.
In 1972. Well, so there you go.
There's that then. All right.
He won a cup with Boston.
Okay.
Lorentz. I wonder if he bragged about it. He was not the type. From my interactions with him, he was not the type to brag about anything.
I can't remember him on TV ever once referencing when I won the Stanley Cup.
I don't think I couldn't either. I mean,
no.
He was not
that way.
Not that way.
Yeah.
Which, I think you and I both mean as a compliment.
Yeah, definitely do. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Did you know Jerry Meehan at all ever? died a few days ago?
I would have talked to him. I'm guessing at the very beginning of my career. But no, I don't. I never had a relationship with him. But what a important figure in Sabres history.
Absolutely.
I mean, he really. I mean, that the LaFontaine trade, the Mogilny defection, like Howard Chuck. I mean, he did a lot of really heavy lifting.
Is he in the Hasek movie too?
Yeah, well, he made the Hasek trade too. Yeah, Bud Bailey was with the News for a long time, and he worked for the Sabres when Meehan took over, and he wrote. I tweeted it last night. He wrote a great piece, sort of just encompassing what it was. Bowman at the end, and it was really dark and nasty, and how Meehan like really sort of got the franchise back up on their feet again.
Very good.
Really nice piece.
Sal Capaccio joined us earlier today. Bills have minicamp this week. We'll set it up with Sal next here on WGR.